Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. Right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
Okay, gang, hope you had a good weekend. We've had to create a 9-step process for Adam to say, go to the bathroom. We have to escort him out, bring him back here, say, sit down, grab a seat, put the mic on. And to all the people that are supporting the cause for us to get a listicle set up for Adam, we are thankful for you. You've changed our lives in a major way. But we have a massive announcement to make today.
Yeah, we have a spotter
about MINNECT, so stay tuned. It's a big announcement that took almost a year to get done, but we finally got it settled, and it's exciting. This past weekend, I was at Mar-a-Lago doing a documentary.
That was
with
awesome,
Adam.
Pat.
You know what's awesome about it is the fact that Benny Johnson just flat out came out and said the fact that he paid for 2 million subscribers. I
Can't
don't know if you
believe
saw
that.
He
put that out there?
He flat out said he paid it with
No, not
Fartcoin. We'll
Benny.
talk about it.
Fartcoin.
He's
a good
he
guy.
promoted MINNECT. It was a great concept of what he was doing. It was fantastic when you see things like that happen, that people are just honest about it. So let me go through a couple different stories that we have here. So Trump, out of everything that's going on, gotta love this guy. He wants to declassify the Amelia Earhart records, and Vinny's ecstatic. So he's got so many things I want to talk about.
haven't slept.
President Trump posts cartoon images depicting him firing Fed Chief Jerome Powell. And then you have Trump to meet with top congressional leaders Monday on shutdown, as well as the admin reports 2 million illegal aliens out of the U.S. in the first 8 months. But those 2 million illegal aliens, did you hear about it?
No. What?
It just made sense.
What?
Benny got those 2 million subscribers. So the Trump's administration reports 2 million illegal aliens left, but they're not watching Benny.
You. That's what it
that's
is.
awesome, buddy.
Benny,
with
let's go.
Fartcoin you paid for
Let's
it. What
go.
a fantastic guy, Benny is. Lithium Americans, Lithium Americas share surge 90% as Trump requests stake. Trump says he asks Somalia president. See, this is the part that people don't give him enough credit. Trump is so noble, people forget. You tell me you've met more of a noble man. Look what he does here.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, I want you to read this.
Okay.
This is called nobility at the highest level.
Go.
So you got all of these different problems you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Think about it. You tell me you know a president as noble as President Trump that said he asked the Somalian president if he would like to take Ilhan Omar back.
With all the stuff he's busy with, he finds
He still
time.
has
You are
the-
that busy with everything you have going on, and you still are
makes
noble
time.
enough to say, can we send
Take
Ilhan
her.
Omar? I don't
Take
care
her.
what anybody says about him. That may be one of the most noble things he's done in 2025.
Multitasker.
For
What
him
did
to be willing to
leader
uh,
of Somalia have to say about her returning
They said
back?
no. They said no, we don't want her back.
How did they
You
not
guys
want
can
her
shoot
back?
her,
Yours
you know,
now.
just- all right,
It's
so
really crowded.
let-
We're
She's
kind of
the
busy
captain.
that day.
Voters in major U.S. city, new capitalism only slightly more favorably than socialism. Fox News poll finds. And then Democratic Party hits historic low favorability in new national poll, which is obviously devastating for a lot of people. 1 person dead and 9 injured in shooting and fire at Michigan church. Out of nowhere, you hear a story like that. Devastating. It was I think it was a Mormon church, if I'm not mistaken.
correct.
We're going to get into the facts. Howard Rubin, ex-New York City financier with ties to George Soros, arrested for allegedly sex trafficking women to sex, am I reading it correctly, dungeon?
Oh, yeah.
Penthouse.
Yeah.
Fed. So New York Post. Wow. I mean, that's some stuff right there.
Oh, yeah.
Netanyahu faces walkout at UN after Abbas receives applause. Russia is helping China prepare for Taiwan invasion. Bill Maher, media ignore persecution of Christians in Nigeria because Jews aren't involved. 7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year. Group says, unbelievable.
It's bad.
The video. I saw a video of a guy saying, all my family members here at this house were killed. I have relatives in that house were killed. He says, this is immediate family. These are not friends. This is blood. Those guys were killed. Living in that kind of a setting just because you're a Christian going through it. U.S. birth rate plummets and to all-time low as housing prices continue to rise. And this Coldplay thing, we didn't get into it last week. I think it's a very, very important story for us to get into. Tom was like, can we just cover it? Husband of HR exec in Coldplay, Kiss Cam, debacle was actually at the same concert with a date. So at least at least it's not as bad as people think it is, Vinny.
Yeah.
She's there with the CEO, and he's there with somebody.
Nice.
And
her husband wasn't home alone and lonely.
That's
Yes.
right. Michigan church on fire after shooting leaves multiple people hurt. Arrest made after boater opened fires on Southport waterfront bar, killing 3, injuring 5. Eric Adams steps down, by the way, and ends re-election bid for New York City mayor. And Tom, because he's so connected, he got a text from folks in the polling-connected community telling him, even with Eric Adams dropping out, what could happen. This is why I love the fact that Tom's so connected in the community, man. There's so many benefits to it. Trump shares AI-generated video promoting medbed conspiracy theory, and then what to make of Sinclair's Jimmy Kimmel Live decision amid the show 70% rating drop. And last but not least, Dearborn's chief of police, Hamdullah, video
Alhamdulillah.
steers outrage as mosque prayer calls in Michigan face scrutiny. Tolerance has been weaponized, which we'll cover that. I know you got some stuff that you want to say about that. Let me give you one major announcement, gang, that what just happened right now. It's very big for us. Some of you guys, this has been a record-breaking month in the history of the company with MINNECT. Massive. I've never gotten this many MINNECTs. Rob is talking about the amount of MINNECTs it's getting, but there's one massive announcement that we've been working on. The first strategic partner that became the biggest shareholder outside of us in MINNECT, and it's a great story. I don't want you to watch the whole 5-minute clip. We'll post it on social afterwards. I just want you to watch the first minute on how exciting this is. There's so many big things happening behind closed doors with MINNECT. We're hiring machine learning engineers left and right. And we're hiring right now. If you're looking at the saying, I want to be part of MINNECT, I want to be part of ET, we're aggressively hiring. But this is our latest strategic partner with MINNECT that just happened. Last Friday, we shot the video. The announcement internally was finalized 2 weeks ago. Go ahead, Rob.
I have a big announcement to make to you today. Let me tell you what it is. For MINNECT. MINNECT today, September, the biggest month the company's ever had in the history. But the announcement is very simple. We've been working for 1 year. I have a very special guy sitting next to me today who is officially the biggest strategic partner and investor in MINNECT, and that's none other than Tony Robbins.
How you doing, brother?
Excited about this partnership.
Thanks for coming by.
Yes, of course.
I'm excited too. If you're watching, I think one of the most important principles of success in business that's certainly shaped my life is proximity is power. The first multi-billionaire ever I met, he's saying, tell me your goals, tell me your dreams. And I told him all about them. And he says, Tony, if you want to do that, you got to know a lot of these certain people. He goes, how much time do you spend with those people? I said, almost never. He goes, brother, what made me a billionaire is proximity is power. If you get in the environment with people that are the best in the world, you're 1 or 2 people away from the deal that you want to make. But if you're trying to do something you don't know anybody, you can forget it. And what I love about this is you're democratizing it. You're making it so we get access to people. If you go on LinkedIn, it's really nice, but most people are not going to respond. Maybe 10% of the people respond if they're a player. They don't have time and energy. But in my case, I'm doing this and I'm just donating the money that's received. I just want to empower people and help people and go on this journey with you because I know what's coming. I don't think you're announcing everything.
No, not yet. They don't know everything that's coming.
Pause it right
Amazing
there.
thing.
You can pause it right there. We'll post a video all over social afterwards. Guys, this is the last week, the amount of downloads with the app right now, it's unbelievable. Messages, calls, all of it. And everybody online is like, oh, my God, do these people charge this much? And do those people, is Pat $48,000 an hour? I'm actually not $48,000 an hour. For a keynote, it's $350,000 to $500,000 per hour that people pay gladly that we do. However, on MINNECT, if you want access, it's that much. FYI, 25 years ago, if you wanted to book President Trump to speak for 1 hour, you know how much it was 25 years ago? $1 million. And guess what? He was worth it. If you have access to people like this. Now, if you're watching this right now, you're saying, man, I want to be able to talk to, can I get a message back from Ray Lewis for $75? Yes. Can I message Terrence Howard, the actor? Yes. Can I message some basketball players and talk to them? Yes. Can I message some business people and find out how to raise money? Yes. Can I talk to some guys like Tony Robbins? Yes. That access is available. You can go out there and try to cold email somebody, less than 1% chance they respond. Instagram X tweet, less than 5% chance. LinkedIn's around 10%. MINNECT is 94% response rate. If you haven't yet used the app, you can download the app and start MINNECTing today. And we have so many more big announcements that's coming in. I think LinkedIn missed the opportunity. There's a massive business community that's looking for a place to network with each other. LinkedIn is becoming that for now. I'm excited about it. There's a lot of good things that are going on behind closed doors, but we just wanted to announce to all of you guys, Tony Robbins is officially the strategic partner with MINNECT. More announcements coming soon. I'm excited about it. Anyways, all right, let's go into the next news. And by the way, if you want to MINNECT Tom, Vinny, or Adam, you can MINNECT them now as well. Vinny's been very busy lately, MINNECTing calls, a lot of different things that's going on, but you can MINNECT them directly. All right, let's get into the story. Rob, the story I wanted to get into is Portland first. Okay, so if you want to pull up a clip, Trump says he is ordering troops to Portland, escalating domestic use of military. This is a Wall Street Journal story. By the way, things in Portland are absolutely mind-boggling. The local citizens are begging, saying, can you please come? These are some people that didn't vote for Trump. These are some people that don't like Trump. They may have not voted him. They wanted Kamala, but they're like, listen, enough is enough. This is getting out of control. Rob, do you want to play this clip just to kind of give a glimpse to people what's going on over there?
Night after night, this is the scene.
This is Portland.
Outside the ICE facility.
This is not a third world country.
Yeah.
This is not Afghanistan.
Apartments just feet away. They routinely call police about the noise and crime.
I'm calling about the protesters. They've cornered 2 women out here. They need help. Please send the cops.
But the cops did not come. Residents on their own.
Turn that down. It's midnight. We the people need sleep.
This
You
week,
voted for
protesters
Kamala.
brought what looked like a guillotine.
You
Some
voted for this.
confrontations end with residents getting assaulted. First a bullhorn, then a fist. No arrest was made despite the injuries. On this night in late June, federal police used tear gas and flashbangs. Again, no Portland police in sight. It came out later in court that one officer told another, if it were not ICE, we could assist directly. Julie Parrish sued the city to force police to enforce local laws.
This is a full-on abdication of police duty in a 4-block radius that impacts some of the most vulnerable Oregonians that we have. Now they've said, meh, we're just going to let violent rioters do this for 80 straight nights, and we don't care.
Portland police responded, we take these concerns seriously. At the same time, we are committed to protecting individuals' rights to express themselves peacefully.
The Portland approach is pathetic. It's childish. And if you enable people to behave the way the protesters have and wreck the neighborhood for everyone else, they will come back and wreck it the next night.
The protest chaos, which began with riots aimed at social justice in 2020, has severely damaged Portland's reputation. It's now ranked by the
right there. By the way, weren't you guys the same people that were saying defund the police?
Yeah.
Weren't you guys the same people that wanted that Chaz City and Trump sucks and, you know, we want him out, no kings, you know, we want everything to be free. And now you're complaining? Yeah, these are your policies. You voted for these policies. You chose these policies. These are the leaders you chose that are okay with this, that are managing these policies the way that they are. President Trump said that he was directing the Pentagon to send troops to Portland to protect federal facilities, escalating his push to deploy the military in the U.S. cities. Trump said in a post on Truth Social on Saturday that he was ordering Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to use the military to protect immigration and customs enforcement facilities, which he said were under siege from attack by Antifa, a loose network of anti-fascist protesters that Trump recently called a terror group. I'm also authorizing full force if necessary. And I think Trump said something about it in a press conference, Rob, if you want to play that clip.
When you go out to Portland and you see what's happening in Portland, this is like nobody's ever seen anything like it every night. And this has gone on for years. They just burned the place down. And, you know, the shop owners, most of them have left. But the few shops that are open, they just use plywood and just like 3/4-inch plywood. They don't put storefronts because they know it's going to be burned down. These are professional agitators. Right. These are bad people. And they're paid a lot of money by rich people, some of whom we know. Yep. I'm sure I know some. I don't. If I knew, I wouldn't associate because I'll be in trouble because Pam will say, "Why are you associating with this person?" But I will tell you that these are bad, bad people, and they're paying a lot of money, millions of dollars. But take a look at Portland sometime. These are wild. These are crazy people. And they're trying to burn down buildings, including federal buildings. And on my list of things that I want to do before we finish up with the cities, because I think we're going to whip the cities back into shape. But we have to. We cannot let our cities, and that's a small example, but it's the most violent example. It's every night, and they've done it for years. You think maybe at some point they made their point, and what are they doing? But we're going to get out there, and we're going to do a pretty big number of those.
Yes, Tom.
So it's really interesting in Portland to bring some numbers behind this. The president's right. We need the federal government to intervene. And you want to know why? 69 officers resigned coming out of COVID 2020 to 2021, stating that a combination of the COVID policies and just allowing them to create that zone downtown. 1 year later, that number was announced at the end of 21. So 20 to 21 that year. It was 229 had resigned. In 2023, the city declined to state, after being asked by multiple media outlets, including Fox, how many people have resigned on the police force or took early retirement in 2023. They refused to state. Then the Manhattan Institute published that privately that the government in Portland had said they have a major staffing crisis with the police. They simply don't have enough, and they can't get anyone to take the jobs. And ladies and gentlemen, the Mayor Rainbow, comes to the microphone saying, we don't need the federal government. We don't need the help. They are in the middle of a staffing crisis where if she had to put her hand in the air at a congressional hearing, she would have to admit that they've lost over 300 officers that haven't been replaced, and they can't get people to take the job.
That's a she? That's her?
Well, this is the governor of Oregon. Yes, Tina Kotek.
That's a girl?
Yes.
Can you play it?
There's no way.
Yeah. I think she's a lesbian.
I'm sorry, Governor Rainbow.
Governor.
We're in the central city of Portland, Oregon, and it is a beautiful day. And we are very happy to be here speaking with you today. In my conversations directly with President Trump,
It's like Keith Olbermann. I thought that was Keith Olbermann.
I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon
always the black frame glasses.
believe in the rule of law. And we can manage our own local
No,
public
you
safety.
can't.
With what?
There is no insurrection.
Oh, really?
There is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city.
You can pause it right there. I mean, you say something like that and choose the best backdrop with a boat coming by, thinking like that's exactly what Portland's like. I've been to Portland many, many times. There's so many good breweries up there, and the people are actually good people, but at the same time, it's a little weird. It's not. Have you been to Portland?
No, yeah, it's not.
Portland's not.
I did a comedy show there, and there was nothing funny about
I've been
the
there
area.
several times. It backs up to Vancouver, Washington, also known as Small Vancouver. And Pat's right. Under the bridges, it used to be called the Rose Garden was downtown. Yeah, the trail, the Jailblazers, and all that went with that. And there's a lot of was rebuild that was going on, and there are small brewers. The Oregon breweries up there, Oregon Honey Beer that was award winning. So, and this goes back 15 years ago. And now what? I look up some of this stuff, and it's like backed off or they've moved.
Yeah, and you know what I just did as well? I just went up here to see what's going on. You remember how California was the first time since 1851 that they lost people? In 2023, Oregon lost. They had 131,403 people that left versus 125 came in. So their net migration in 23 was minus 6,000. People left. And then in Portland alone, that was Oregon, but in Portland alone, 4,000 residents left in 12 months, July to July, 22 to 23. Net combination migrants voted by 11 was on net loss. Yeah, this is, people are not wanting to live in a place like this. And you say you have it under control? The governor has the audacity to say they have it under control? What do you think Trump's going to say? What do you think Trump says on the phone call?
I hope he goes to the receipts and saying, if it's under control, why was your own mayor talking to the Manhattan Institute at the end of 2023, less than 2 years ago, saying that you have a staffing crisis with your cops? Why say that? I want the president to go grab that stuff and put the receipts out.
That's right.
So it's not him versus them.
That's a good point.
I want the numbers out there.
Yep. Adam, thoughts?
So the only place in the country I've never been is the Pacific Northwest. Portland, Seattle. The furthest northwest I've ever been is San Francisco. And there's nothing compelling me at this point to want to go there. I still see people from California, and I'm like, and they move to Miami. And I'm like, well, man, you made it out, buddy. Congratulations. We've seen this happen in New York. But they still say, well, I'm going to miss California. I'm going to miss New York. People I've run into from the Pacific Northwest, every time I talk to them, they're like, dude, there's nothing going on here at this point. It's all progressive woke ideology. And you know what sort of codified this? You remember we had the American gangster come on the show. His name is Chael Sonnen. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Shout out to Chael, American badass UFC fighter. And we were talking about what's going on in his home state of Oregon. And he's like, look, man, the governor's a nice lady, Governor Tina Kotek, but this whole area needs a complete rude awakening right now. And it's going to take somebody like this, bad, bold, badass, to get up there and clean this mess up. There needs to be mini Trumps all over the country. And I'm not saying they need to be MAGA extremists. That's not going to work in a place like Portland or Seattle or San Francisco. But this progressive ideology goes lefter and lefter and lefter, and someone needs to bring it back to the middle. This might be the guy to do it.
Yes, and you know one part where you think about people who finally realize they have to change some policies. Folks from Portland, I know one thing for a fact. Most of you are not watching this podcast.
No.
And those of you that are watching this podcast, you probably love your city. You don't want to leave and you want to see a change, okay? But the reality of it is you either have to go around converting people's policies and asking them questions, because if you don't, if it gets voted like this over and over again, you voted for this. This is what you wanted. If you don't want it, change the way you vote, or else this will be the case for many, many years to come. And I don't think Trump's going to hesitate. I think Trump's going to send people there. And you're going to see when he sends people there, within 2 weeks, it's going to clean up. But say they stay there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they leave 2 weeks later. It's still going to go back to the same thing. So the Antifa, unless if they're going around arresting Antifa members or saying anti-fascist, what's more fascist than what you're doing right there in the streets? You think that's the right thing to do? You guys watch the latest Joker movie, not the musical, the one previous to that with Joaquin Phoenix one too many times. You know, those guys probably watch reruns of that Joker movie, the first Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. The one that I walked out of after 43 minutes, knowing the fact that they're dividing America, you know, putting the hate into people who are business owners. They're bad people. They're bad. That one right there. Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next story here, Rob. Michigan. 1 person dead, 9 injured in a shooting and fire at Michigan church, police say. Rob, if you want to pull up the story, there's multiple stories I have of this one here. I'm going to go to the CNN one first, and I'm going to go to the other one. Can you imagine all you want to do is go to church and all of a sudden you're there and at least 4 people were killed. This is the latest update I'm reading. And 8 others were wounded in a shooting at Church of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, police said. Authorities say gunmen rammed a vehicle through the front of the church during a large service, began shooting and then intentionally set a fire that grew into a large blaze. Officers exchanged fire with gunmen and killed them, according to police. Investigators have identified the man as Thomas Jacob Sanford, a 40-year-old from the nearby city of Burton. The FBI is now leading the investigation into a deadly shooting and suspected arson at a Michigan church. Bureau is investigating the incident as an act of targeted violence, according to Reuben Coleman. Rob, if you want to play the clip.
This is from inside the church as the shooting took place yesterday.
We're not going to see anybody getting shot.
No.
Are you sure, Rob?
This is what was going on in the church?
This is the older one.
This is the older. Rob,
I think this is an older video.
I think that's last week, which is still bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I don't think that's the same video.
Then this is the police chief yesterday talking about the shooting, and then I also have him talking about the shooter. Which
go for it. Go shooting first.
Okay.
The call came out here today at 10:20. Said was happening at 10:25 a.m. at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is located at 4285 McCandless Road. During this incident, what we know right now is that a 40-year-old suspect from Burton, he's a male, he drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church. 10 gunshot victims have been transported to local hospitals at this time, including one who has been deceased. Officers who were trained immediately responded to the area. One was a DNR officer, and then one was a Grand Blanc Township officer, where they met the suspect and they engaged in gunfire with that particular individual, neutralizing that suspect, and that suspect is no longer with us. As I said, it is a 40-year-old male from Burton. During all this incident as well, there was a fire that occurred, and we believe that was deliberately set by the suspect. We do believe that we will find additional victims once we have that scene secure.
Okay, so a few things I'm seeing here about the guy. 40 years old, former Marine from 04 to 08, served in Iraq in his tenure. He lived there in Burton, Michigan, which is near Grand Blanc. Drove the pickup truck. You're going through the whole thing that he just explained there. Casualties, we already talked about that. Active targeted violence. The attack occurred one day after the death of LDS Church President Russell M. Nelson. I think he died at 101 years old.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the 17th president, I think. Could be the 14th or the 17th president, Rob, if you can verify that, on which of the two he was. So, Vinny, what are your thoughts on this story?
I mean, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're paying attention even a little bit, it's obvious what's happening, okay? Christians are under attack, and we are the most persecuted religion on the planet. This weekend, Tom, I was listening to the audio Bible, and I'm not even joking. Right when this was happening, Matthew, the verse of Matthew came up while he was saying, "Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, and theirs will be the kingdom of heaven." Okay, but we have so many stories. I'm not even going to get into the second part of it, but in the last few weeks, there was a coach. This was kind of simple. He was praying with some of the players. He was shot at. He was actually shot. Minneapolis, trans shooter opens fire inside of a church while children are praying. Okay, and now we have this. The guy apparently had IEDs, driving into a church and started shooting. And I've said this before, and I apologize to everybody that thinks that I'm just repeating the same talking points. It's not flesh and blood. Everybody thinks we're fighting Antifa or China or Muslims. It's not that. We are literally fighting the devil, okay, and our enemy is Satan, okay, and we're seeing it manifest here. His power is being manifested here on earth, Tom, and it's undeniable at this point. Can you imagine, guys, could you imagine if every week, Adam, this is for you guys too, a synagogue was getting bombed, and look at that footage, look at that. Every week that was happening to synagogues or mosques or temples, a Hindu temple. What the hell? There'd be an outrage. But for some reason, when it comes to us, when it comes to Christians, nobody cares. This is going to be talked about for one more day and then it's over. And it's pissing me off because we need to step the hell up. Tom. Everybody steps up for everybody else, Pat, but nobody steps up for us.
Well, we're incredibly, amen, Vinny. Amen to that.
It's ridiculous.
The Lord gave us Jesus Christ to save us from a broken world, and did not promise that this world would be our utopia. But living in the foundation of Christ, you go to make a strong and positive impact on everyone, and you pray for your enemies. And we are a very angry nation right now, and there are things that are manifesting. And people say, well, it's not just Christians. No, it's not just Christians. But the amount of persecution globally is worse among Christians. The UN knows it. The UN even publishes it. Cato Institute publishes it. Sometimes it's inconvenient to talk about that if you have a narrative that you want to push one way or the other. But it's true. And you have this Church of Latter-day Saints, these people with their kids going to worship, mind their own business, and a guy with a truck comes through, and people say, well, it's all about gun control. He had these large apparent jerry cans with gasoline that set it on fire. So what prevents him from driving through and setting it on fire? Does everybody escape alive? Well, maybe, but you've still got, it's not about the weapon, it's about the people. It's about the people that are there. And Christians are the number one persecuted, but there's a lot of angry things. And I want to know this guy's background. I want to know how we could have noticed it, how we could have stopped it, how we could have stepped in. I want to know that.
Yeah, look at him, Tom. He's there. Look at his wife. He has a Trump.
Is that a Trump shirt? Zoom in.
Yeah, it looks like a Trump 2020 shirt.
Okay, so he was a supporter of Trump 2020 pens outside of. So he had a sign of Trump and Pence outside of his house in his Sanford home.
What?
A 2019 social media photo post shows that Sanford wearing a Trump T-shirt, slogan "Make liberals cry again."
Unbelievable.
No verified records of party registration of Republicans, so that's not been reported yet. Investigators have explicitly said that speculation about his motives or political leanings is just that speculation, and that they won't draw conclusions. But there's nothing that's. Is this him still, Rob, or is this someone else?
This is what the internet's saying is him.
Okay, can we read some of these things? Politically active, democratic socialist, progressive, and proud union member. So is that a post of his?
Well, that's his description on his X. Thomas J.
Joined
Sanford.
July 2020. Is that the real name of the guy, though? Is it Thomas J. Sanford?
Yeah, are we sure this is the right, account?
Because
Thomas Jacob Sanford is his name.
Okay, go back to the other one. I don't see the picture on his face, so I don't know if that's going to be him. So keep going to the next one. Grandma Iraqi killed, has a Stop Trump
sign at his house.
Stop Trump sign at his house. Okay, Stop Trump sign at his house.
Yeah.
So not a pro-Trump sign at his house.
No,
keep going. Okay. So there was a Trump-hating liberal. They tried to scrub his Facebook, but they weren't quite fast enough. So never support a president who IQ is 30 points lower than yours and failing. And he was talking about Trump. Okay. So then what is that other picture that people are posting? Okay. What is that one? The one right there with the Trump shirt on. Is that the same guy? Zoom in a little bit more on the shirt, Rob. See if you can.
Trump that posted.
Yes,
the
it says
picture
liberals cry again. 2000. See, that doesn't add up. So wait, in 2020, he joined and he's saying he's a progressive
Democratic.
Yeah,
maybe
none of it
not
makes sense.
Maybe that's not a shirt
and I
honoring
love,
Trump.
Pat, I love how
hang on, go back to there's something in here. Look at his, if this is the right account, there is a pinned tweet. Pat, take a look at this pinned tweet, Rob, because you go to that.
You just had it a minute ago.
Yeah, if this is correct, on 2021, a single $1,400 payment when the unemployment system owes me over 10 grand to show no remorse for cheating me. I'm underwhelmed. So he appears to be upset. If this is the correct account, we all got to be very careful with this. If the news media is publishing this as the correct account from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, okay. But it appears that there's some anger. He's wearing a Trump shirt that says 2020, and there sure appears to be some like anger at the system. You see that, Pat? Mm-hmm. Like I've been cheated or something's going on. Democrat, socialist, progressive, union member. So that there are.
He seemed to have donated to Blue numerous times. So he donated to Blue Political Action PAC $192. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Rob, what was the actual handle?
8,
Thomas what?
About 12 times he donated to the Democratic Party, if that's the same person we're talking about.
Let me see his handle. I think it was like Thomas J, like the account that you had up there,
Thomas
Rob.
J. Sanford 1. Thomas J. Sanford 1.
Thomas J.
Sanford 1. If that account is still up.
Let's see if they have it.
And we say allegedly, but
it's
this
not the
is
same
what
face.
the police is indicating.
Well, it's either him without a beard. Like it might be him, PBD without a beard. Maybe.
No,
but
doesn't
that's not
look
the same
nothing
guy.
like the guy.
Yeah, see? There we go. That's
doesn't
what
look nothing
This guy
like
works
the
for PTI Professional. Yeah, and he has a Ukraine flag.
No,
this isn't the same
nothing
guy.
like the guy. So here's the part. We don't yet know where he's at, okay? Sanford, Rob, you put a D in there. There wasn't a D. It's a San. You put Sanford.
Yeah. In fact,
Sanford.
Just to clarify, yeah, you're right. This guy's from Wisconsin.
That's not the same guy.
It's not the same guy.
No, it's not. So again, more details will come about this. There's another story talking about that, it could be a former member of the church that had a bad experience that was going after that. I don't know if the guy was LDS or not, but there's a lot of different stories that come up with this. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I can't believe I need to say this, but political violence or religious violence has no place in America. We just saw what happened with Charlie Kirk. We've seen multiple situations where places of worship, whether it's this LDS church in Michigan, whether there's the Catholic church in Minnesota, there's the synagogue in Pittsburgh, whether there's a Sikh temple. This seems to be a common theme here. It is incumbent on our cities, on our police forces to protect the most vulnerable. The places of worship and schools and social gatherings should be just that. They should not be crime scenes. And it's becoming all too common that it's crime scene at a church, crime scene at a school, crime scene at a public gathering. And at what point is say enough's enough? So churches, Rob, I sent you some data. America has becoming more secular and secular and secular over the last few decades. And there seems to be at least a pause in people becoming less religious, less Christian even. Here's a I don't know if you have this stat right here, but since the shooting of Charlie Kirk, more people have gone back to church. I think we need more of that in America today. The biggest challenge that churches have, whether it's churches, whether it's synagogues, whether it's mosques, we can keep that separate, is at one point you want to get people to come in, but how do you keep the bad people out? At this particular church, Latter-day Saints, I guess LDS is known for saying, visitors welcome. They want people to come in and experience church.
That's every church, though.
That's my point. But they want people to come in and experience this. But how do you keep people like this out?
That's such a heavy question that you have. It's not. You're not going to be able to do it because what do churches say? Anybody's welcome. The most broken people are welcome because they come in, they get on their knees, and they give their life to Christ, and you can be forgiven. That's the part that some other religions and denominations have a hard time with Christianity, where they say, we've had this conversation before. You mean to tell me I can go do X, Y, Z, and I can come and accept Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and if you truly believe it, and if it's coming from your heart, that's what makes this, as unique of a, faith that it is. When it becomes, you want those folks to come. But to me, this is, I want to know more. I can't stand hearing stories like this because the last place people need to be worried when they go to is the church. That's where you need to go and sit down, pray, go through whatever phases you're going through. I mean, listen, the weekend when the Charlie Kirk assassination happened, that was like the last weekend, folks. If you ran a church, that was not the weekend to be asking for money and to come out and say, hey, we have a $28 million building project.
Oh, man.
Some people did that, believe it or not. And that's like the wrong weekend to do it. But, it's tragic. It's devastating. It's annoying. By the way, I don't care who he supported. He needs to be held accountable. Somebody posted something on Twitter. I bet they'll never bring this up. You're talking to the wrong group. We're not those guys that are not going to bring it up and not cover it. Whether he was or he wasn't, for a man to do something like this, you have issues. But I want to know more. I want to know every single thing about this guy's records, what church he went to, what happened with his family, what happened the week before, what happened 2 weeks before. And God willing, they'll find it. But terrible, terrible story. Adam.
Let me just weigh in. So I think churches need to, and schools for that matter, need to do a better job of playing defense. My point was you want people to come in, but at what point, at what price? This past week, it was the Jewish New Year, which is called Rosh Hashanah. And if you were going to go to temple, there's no way that a shooter is getting in there because a temple at this point has become a full-on SWAT-driven security establishment. Good. Because the attacks on Jews that are happening. Yeah. So my Christian friends need to take notice. We talk about tolerance and don't take my kindness as weakness. They're coming after you, whether that's a certain type of people, whether that are atheists, whether that are anarchists, and Jewish people, for that matter, have learned the hard way. And my hope and prayer is that churches realizes, wow, guys, have you not noticed what's going on at churches now? The shootings, this thing that happened in Michigan, and protect yourself. In America, we have this sort of toggling.
You're right about that. Yeah. You're right about that. I mean, this last fall conference, we spent 3 times as much last fall for security. I don't know how many metal detectors we had. 10 lines. What do you mean?
I was late because I was running through
metal detectors. It was taking long time to get people to come in purely because of trying to get everybody to make sure that place was safe. So nobody had to be worried about. So but bigger budget of that you didn't have to worry about this 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
No.
This was the last thing on our minds, but you have to do it today.
And Pat, I have to be armed. You think I want to be armed at my church? No. I have to, because you know what? I'm taking the responsibility. If God forbid something happens, guess what? I'm running towards the fire.
Let me tell you, I was at a soccer tournament this weekend, and I was armed the entire time. You have to be. Mm-hmm. You have to be ready. And thank God the way they set up the storm, there was cops everywhere.
Good.
I love the way they did it. There was cops everywhere. But you have to be. You know what they announced last week? Florida.
Open carry. Yeah,
Florida's
I'm showing you.
Saw that image of that dude on the back of the bike in Florida.
Yeah, it's open carry. Go ahead, Tom.
Pat. Oh, sorry.
No, I said open.
Open carry.
Yeah. Open carry. So, anyways.
Do you remember, Pat, we had a conversation a couple of years ago with Zuby, and it was a conversation of what's a better city, Riyadh in Saudi Arabia or New York City?
Yep.
And I'm like, New York City, obviously, dude. And he's like, not so fast, buddy. Have you ever been to Saudi? Which prompted a conversation between the difference between America and certain other places in the world, between freedom and safety. In America, we value our freedom, right? Another great Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. That's what we value. But what's the price of freedom? You have stuff like this, where you have other cities where there's zero religious freedoms in a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, UAE or Saudi. There's no freedoms, but they're safe. you hear stories like you could leave your wallet out there, nobody's going to steal it. So there's this sort of like balance. It's like a seesaw between freedom and safety. I'd much rather have the freedom that we have in America,
but in America,
we need protection as well.
But everything is based on what you had to escape. So what we had to escape caused the way the founding fathers created America was to allow you to have guns, to say you shouldn't be afraid of us. We want you to also be able to protect yourself. That if the government ever wanted to become tyrannical and come after you, you're fully protected. It's not everybody has the same story of reasoning of how they start their countries, but America was that, and quite frankly, I don't mind it. I actually, support how this place was built. That's why we're here. All right, let's get to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is there was one story that all of you guys wanted to talk about.
Was it
is that one right there? Yeah, Nigeria. That's the one. Okay,
bleeds
so
right
get
into
to that
it.
one right there. Yeah. So, 7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year. 7,000. According to Newsweek, this story came out. And you don't hear much about it. Okay? You don't. You hear a lot more about Gaza than you hear about Christians. Christians get killed. Even some Christians don't talk about it enough. They put more focus onto what's going on with Gaza because it's easier to have a enemy that is disliked than this. However, this is the reality of it, what's going on in Nigeria right now. 7,000 Christians have been killed during the first 220 days of 2025. A civil society watchdog says this is an average of 35 killings a day, according to a recent report published by the Nigeria-based human rights NGO and International Society for Civil Liberties and the Rule of Law. Nigeria has long been an epicenter of Christian persecution, with more Christians killed for their faith in Nigeria than in the rest of the world combined. Damn. According to human rights organization Open Doors, which monitors the persecution of Christians around the globe, the violence has displaced at least 12 million Christians since 2009. 16 years, according to Inner Society. That year marked the start of Boko Haram's insurgency to establish a caliphate in Nigeria and the broader Sahel. In the 16 years since, Inter Society estimates 189,000 civilians have been killed, 125,000 of whom were Christians, and 60,000 were liberal Muslims. The Inter Society reports that 7,087 Christians were killed in Nigeria between January 1st and August 10th, and that 7,800 were abducted in the same period. The report identified Benue State and Nigeria Middle Belt as among the hardest hit, with at least 1,100 deaths, including the Yalawata massacre in June, with 280 Christians were killed. Rob, if you have a clip to play, is this the clip of the gentleman explaining what's going on, or this is the one that I'm running out? Okay, go for it. It's after church service, I believe, by the way.
That's every gunshot you're hearing is hitting a person.
My people, my family members, they died in this house. 11. And some died in the other stores. 8. Some died here. My whole family members that died yesterday, day before yesterday, on that very day, there were 20. That is my own family members. I'm not talking about any other thing. That is my own family members. This is my store. Those shops are my stores. Those places are being burned. Those places, this place is being burned. Here and up, my house is up there. That place also is burned. And the store where I pack my goods, I store my goods everywhere, has burned. They burned my clothes, they burned everything, they burned our food. All my family members, what we came out with is our clothes, what we wear. And I, standing here, this is what I came out with. And this is the only thing that I have. There's no anything with me.
Vinny, thoughts?
Going back to exactly what I was talking about, and it's like, I'm going to be honest. I had no idea. And why is that? Because the mainstream media doesn't give a damn, and they're not reporting this. It took Bill Maher. And you guys know me. I'm one of the most critical about this freaking guy, TDS. He goes back, he goes left, he goes right. It took him having Nancy Mace on to bring this up. Bob, you want to play this clip? Yeah, play this clip, please.
Nigeria. I mean, the fact that this issue has not gotten on people's radar.
Right, no one's talking about it.
It's pretty amazing. If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck.
Yep.
You are in a bubble. Not, and again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
It's
a great point.
Thank you. Because no one will talk about it, so thank you.
Absolutely.
And so why? Is it because, and he said this, Adam, I know you said this at a point, I got to give you credit where credit's due, no Jews, no news, okay? This is a calling for all the Christian people, like, where are you at? And you said it, I had to highlight it. In 2023, 4,100 Christians killed. That's 82% of all faith-based related killings worldwide. Guys, 84% of every Christian dying is right there. Okay, and meanwhile, guess what the U.S. lawmakers are pushing? They're pushing. They haven't declared anything, labeling Nigeria a country of particular concern. All right, what particular concern? The concern is there, and this guys, and the most powerful part. And I have to hold back my freaking emotions with all this persecution, Pat. 94% of Nigerian Catholics are still going to mass every week. Wow. Their faith is freaking unshaken, even in the face of death. Rob, can you play this clip? Look at this. Look at that. They're refusing. Holy moly. God bless them. Look at this.
We praise your name.
Wow. You can stop it, Rob. So that's what faith over fear. Look at that, Tom. Faith. And they're not stopping. They're not stopping. And I absolutely love Pat. They can't. What are they going to do? Bow down and say, no, we're sorry. No. You got to stick up for your faith, and that's it. Wow.
Tom.
This is heavy stuff. And I'm glad to finally see it coming out in media so that people can see the truth of what's going on in this world. This is why the world needs a savior. And what you have here is you have people understanding that a church is not a building. A church is a gathering of believers who are supporting each other, holding hands in the remnant of a building there, not knowing if their oppressors are going to return to finish the job on them. That is faith in action. That is faith over fear. And what you also have is, although Nigeria is rich in resources, they got a lot of natural resources. The way to get people to help you in this world is to have oil, to have gold, or have rich minerals, and then the West that needs those is more likely to give you aid and come help. That's not a criticism, that's a fact. And the thing that inspires me is that these people are living and trying to do it. What further inspires me is the churches and organizations around the world that are continuing to send missionaries and relief supplies into these areas. Darfur has been going on for 20 years now. Darfur, 20 years. And so to understand the power of the faith is to see it right there and to say, what could make someone there simply come together and pray? Not pick up arms, not go on a retaliation mission, but to come together and pray in encouragement. That's what this is all about. The number one persecuted group on earth is Christians. You can spin it any way you want, but you'd be wrong. This is what's happening. And they're returning prayer and peace in the face of persecution. And you've got governments. In this case, it happens to be a Sunni side of the Islamic tradition that is in control of the government, that is systematically trying to wipe everybody else out, specifically the Christians. And the reason the Christians are dangerous, if you ask, they will tell you, is because they're fearless and they keep talking about Christ and they keep attempting to bring the good news of Jesus to other people, which causes people to convert. It's not political. It's not. Are you scared about carrying a Republican or a Democrat voter ID? No, I'll just carry independent. So if anybody steals my wallet, they won't pick on me. No, these are people that are bringing the good news of Jesus Christ, and these people are unafraid. And that is what the other side fears is the power of the Holy Spirit and people converting. So what do? They think that by burning the churches and killing the people that they're doing it. This is horrifying. But they are liberating, but they are also inspiring people to be missionaries, to reach out and do it. And I just wish that the attitude of the media wouldn't be the right people are dying.
Yeah.
Adam.
Well, I don't know how you guys haven't noticed this, but this is something that's been going on for years and years and years and years, and the media just doesn't cover it. But it doesn't take an investigative journalism to realize that the following, they famously say, not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists just happen to be Islamists. And I would like to separate what it is between it being an Islamist or jihadist, between a normal, peace-loving Muslim. Like, let's get real here. But all these groups have something in common, whether it's ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, the Boko Haram that's just murdering Christians in Nigeria, whether it's the Islamic Jihad, whether it's the Houthis in Yemen. They're all jihadists. So which makes me wonder, Hamas is literally one of these groups. This is their function. They want to kill people who are not like them. The only difference is all these other groups are focusing on Christians. Hamas just happens to be focusing on Jews. But they famously say, first they come for the Saturday people, but then guess what? Then they come for the Sunday people. These people do not want to coexist. What don't you get, guys? What don't you get? I mean, you might have your criticism of what's going on in Gaza, but Jews or Israelis, because not all Israelis are Jewish, have a very deep understanding of it's kill or be killed. Unfortunately, you think you're going to negotiate with Boko Haram? You think you're going to reason with these people that are literally mowing people down? They're leaving church. They have a higher calling from Allah to commit jihad or practice jihad, and there's nothing stopping them. Pat, you always talk about choose your enemies wisely, and you give credit to your enemies. You give them credit because they're very clear in what they want. They want to take you out in business or they want to take you out in life. And it's very clear what's happening. You said no Jews, no news. Correct. Why are there protests just for Gaza? I mean, show me a protest for what's going on in Nigeria. Christians getting mowed down, nothing. Show me a protest for what's going on in Sudan, millions of people. Show me a protest of what's going on in Ukraine at this point, nothing. So the hypocrisy that comes from, it's a genocide in Gaza. There's other countries in the world where Christians are being persecuted, not just persecuted, killed, beheaded. You see what's going on in Syria.
That's literally, they're trying to do 125,000 people.
Murdering. You see what happened with the Druze and the Christians in Syria. But, I always have fun when I see people doing the Free Palestine. Okay, cool, I respect that. And I said, you see these interviews, why are you doing this? We're anti-war. Great. Name me one other protest you've ever been to. Name me one other. No, this is the only thing I've ever done. So that's the hypocrisy that they've never gone to any other anti-war protest other than what's going on in Gaza.
I tell you what, though, man. Let me tell you guys. If there's anything, like I had a very intense conversation with one of my kids last night. Very intense conversation with one of my kids last night. You have to be very careful, man, to not fall for the mob. And just because somebody is so convincing in their delivery of their message, you cannot be, and you may sit there and you may be like, well, he seems like he's this, he seems like he's that, he seems like he's this. And he's like, yeah, oh my God, that's what they're doing. And you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling it. And you're like, hey, pump the brakes, bro. This is how you all of a sudden get recruited into a mob. Be very, very careful of how you get manipulated and brainwashed into certain things, okay? You have to be. They do it to kids. They do it to adults. It doesn't matter if you're 70 years old, 80 years old, 22 years old, 42 years old, or 13 years old. They're going to come after you to try to brainwash you. And you know what percentage falls for it? You know what percentage falls for it? What percentage of people think fall for brainwashing? For the mob? What percentage? I'm going to give you a number. I bet you're not going to get it right. What do you think the number is?
80 to 90.
What percentage falls for it? I'm going to tell you a number.
For the brainwashing.
Falls for the mob.
90.
Getting a hold of your brain.
90%?
And you're like, you're like supporting something that's absolutely
ridiculous.
90? What percentage falls for?
I'll say
Tom?
90.
I'm going 66.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, 40%, 50%.
100%. All of us do.
See that?
All of us do. Anybody who's sitting here acting like, oh, that would never happen to me, you're part of it as well. No one walks on water. I'm telling you, for myself, I have to watch for it. I'm better off thinking all of us are, are potential victims to falling for the mob. Everybody. Good, bad, horrible people, it doesn't matter. The most noble person can fall for the flipping mob. This is not about like, I have more education, it can't happen to me. The most educated people have been bought into the mob. The ones with the fanciest degree that are part of this community are recruited into the mob, by the mob. Go to universities. Where do you think most of these dumb protests are happening? Where? And you ask them basic questions they don't have an answer for. This guy here, I don't have a clue who this guy is, but I've watched more clips of this guy in the last 4 days than anybody else in the world. He knows how to sing songs in 54 languages. The guy's incredible. Itai Benda. I don't know who he is. And when I tell you, Vinny, I watch 40, 50 videos, I watch it with Tico, Dylan, and Senna, and my wife, Jen. We're on the way to the tournament this weekend. So he doesn't tell you where he's from first.
Okay.
He first asks you where you're from.
Got you.
Then he sings a song for you. Then at the end, he tells you where you're from, and then they get mad because he's from Israel. So watch this here. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip.
I live in Germany, but I'm from Turkey.
Nice. Can I sing
Can
I sing a song for you?
Like what for a song? Like Israeli pro-Israel song or something like that?
Let me sing a song for you.
Let me sing a song for you at first.
Maybe
a small one.
Okay.
Love me like you do. Love me, love me.
Okay, there you go. So he's from Turkey, right? Now watch this.
Akşam olmadan, güneş batmadan
54 languages. Vinny.
Beni yalnız bırakma.
What?
Beni sensiz bırakma. Korkuyorum gecelerin karınlayında. Korkuyorum sesizliğin.
Look at the look on the guy, so he's from Turkey. Loves it. This is his way of bringing people together. Now watch what happens.
I don't speak Turkish, bro.
You speak even better Turkish than me.
No, I don't speak Turkish.
Where are you from? Are you from Iran or something like that?
I'm from Israel.
There is no Israel.
You can Google it. It's on Google.
No, it's not.
Of course there is.
There is only Israel for people who don't believe in God.
Arkadaşım benim. There is Israel. Of course there is.
Wallah, there is not.
What's in there if not Israel?
There is only Palestine.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, for sure.
How many times Israel is mentioned in the Quran?
I think only 7 times.
No, 43 times.
We know that Israel and Israel is the same piece of
And how many times Palestine is mentioned?
Palestine is not only one time.
So
we don't have countries in Islam. What is Israel meaning for Islam?
Means the people of Israel, the Jewish, yes.
The Christians too. The Christians living too there, but they are now gone because the Israel people don't like them.
Arkadaşım ya, you're just saying a lot of lies because to me, I have many Arab and Christian friends lives in Israel.
No, you don't have.
I grow up with Arab friends. Many. I grow up with them.
They are blind. Yeah, they don't see what you are for a person.
You go to Israel, look how many Arabs live the best life.
Inshallah,
the best
no
life.
One will go there back because inshallah will Iran broke this country. I hope that every Muslim country break this building in one.
Nah, they try so they try so many times. They cannot.
There is no Jewish people anymore. There are only kuffar people and rich bitches.
You are jealous. This is the point. You are jealous. You are jealous. You are jealous. Ya ammi, arkadaşım ya benim ya. You are jealous ya. You are jealous ya. Of ya.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, of course. So say I'm jealous.
I say it now 3 times. You didn't understand.
So if I'm jealous about you, I don't need to hate you, but you hate me because you're jealous.
I only hate people who think this is normal to be killing little kids in Jewish piece of I'm not.
The problem is jealousy and stupidity together. Jealous and stupidity together.
You are right.
Yes, if you open your mind, you see the truth.
Shut up.
Okay.
It all started with singing him a song.
By the way, this guy does this. Rob, can you go back to his account, please? Go back to his account. First of all, I want to give a shout out to this guy. I don't have a clue who you are, Itai. Go a little bit lower. I don't have a clue who you are. Okay, I've never met this guy. I've never talked to this guy. Go lower. He does one for an Armenian girl.
Where is it?
He does 2 Persian songs, but right there, Rob. Just play that one for the first 45 seconds. I just want you to hear how he sings.
Okay.
Watch this.
What's up? How are you?
I like your room.
You like my room? I like it.
Yes.
Too. I actually like it too.
Just go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm set.
Okay. Where are you from originally? Like, do you speak
Look
only
at her
English?
reaction.
I'm from Armenia.
Armenia. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, this guy is amazing. She's getting emotional at this
Said she was
point.
sad.
Yeah, you can pause it right there.
Wow.
Okay, so you know what I love about this guy? He takes, how long do you think it takes to learn 54 languages of a song to do?
10 years, maybe more.
I don't know.
Every day. I don't know how you
by the way, he did Portuguese to Brazilian girl, Spain. He did to Siberia. He did one for Romanian guys. Like, he couldn't believe it. The reaction from people are like, "Are you sure you're not Romanian?" He says, "No, I'm not. I'm from." Just because he wants to find a way to bring people together.
Huh.
See, we need to recognize people like this more.
I agree.
To see what they're doing. This is who needs to get 1 billion views.
Yep.
This guy needs to go viral for billions of people to see that at the end of the day, we're human beings. Let's find a way to work together.
I agree 100%.
Let's find a way to unify. So, again, don't know who you are. Respect the hell out of you for doing what you're doing. I can watch this guy all day. And for some of you guys that are watching this and you see the story with Nigeria, and you wonder, you know, one of the biggest shirt for the year that we've launched that sold thousands overnight, 1 week, is Faith Over Fear. I absolutely love the fact that Vinny's shirt, Faith Over Fear, has done the way that it has, because it tells me there's thousands of people bold enough that are willing to wear something like this, to work, to the gym, to everywhere they go, to say, this is what I'm all about. This is the message that I think we need more in America. For some of you guys that are watching this, ladies, it was good to see
There's a girl
how
shirt,
many
too.
ladies
Way
ordered
more
the
than-
shirts.
yeah, they went
ladies was
nuts.
on fire this weekend, which is great to see. But anyways,
Can I give you a fun fact?
yeah, go ahead.
So this
You're
guy
gonna say you
Itai-
partied with that guy 9 years ago.
No, but I've seen him before. I've seen this guy, Itai Benda.
He better speak Assyrian. Like, I want an Assyrian song if he doesn't.
You know what?
Itai, if you're
I'm with
listening,
you.
Assyrian song.
He'll
I'm going
do
to
it.
reach out to you,
He'll
and I
do
want you to sing an Assyrian song for my friend
He will do it.
Patrick Bet David. The reason that I want to emphasize the last name Patrick Bet David, because Itai Benda, his last name is not Benda, it's Ben David. Itai Ben David.
House
so
of.
Ben means the
Son.
son of David. Bet, I think, is
Beta.
the house
House.
of David.
David.
So
Gabriel.
what's so amazing about this guy? I think he's born in Jerusalem. I think he lives in LA now. I could be mistaken, but you said this, Pat. He believes in peace through music. We have way more in common than we have that divides us. And there's an example of like, guy, I'm gonna sing for you. I want to be amazing.
I want to go and listen to that Armenian song one more time, because
Let's
this guy
do
does
it.
such a
I
good
love
job.
it.
Go
I
ahead,
don't want you to
sing
play
it
it
one more
right
time.
now.
Don't
Rob.
play right now.
I'm just saying, like, when this ends, you have to.
Yes.
I'm
I'm gonna
telling
listen to
you,
him now.
Vinny,
I have to.
I'm gonna send you his account. Rob, can we put his account
Yeah.
below for people to go follow? Can you guys just do me a favor? Go
Itai.
follow
Message
him
him and tell him
And if
Assyrian.
you like what
Smiley.
he's doing,
Yep.
if you like what he's doing, send him some love in a DM.
Itai.
Let him know he got a bunch of love today.
And he better
on
learn
the
an
podcast.
Assyrian song.
Freaking amazing voice.
Itai
Man. Good for
Ben
you.
David.
All right.
Look at his name right there. Itai Ben David. How do I know?
What are the chances?
Look at the
of
Bet Davids and the Ben David doing our things.
Listen, whether it's an N or a T, it's a good last name.
Good job.
I
Agree.
respect it.
Thank you
I
for
respect
doing
it
what you
for.
do,
I
my
respect
friend.
it for. All right, let's go to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is the U.S. birth rates plummet to an all-time low as housing prices continue to rise. Okay, Adam, I'm going to come to you with this one since this is a story you wanted to talk about.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
get to it, folks.
What page is it on?
19. Okay, Newsday.
What number?
Newsday is 19.
Oh, okay.
You want me to give you another language? Das Inna.
Okay. Now you're just showing off, PBD.
No,
You're
I'm going to
speaking
stop
5
right there. I
different
can't sing in
languages.
54 languages. That's a
Machleta,
different
how
story.
about that?
Machleta is better, yes. The U.S. birth rate plunged to an all-time low in 2024 after on a downward trajectory roughly 20 years with soaring housing costs, cited as major contributing factor. Earlier this summer, U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention released an updated birth rate for this year, revealing that the nation's national fertility rate to less than 1.6. I think the exact number is 1.59 to be exact. Kids per woman, down from 2.1 just 19 years ago. Wow.
Jeez.
Which that's the replacement rate, by the way. The country needs to sustain its population. The last 2 decades saw women increasingly delaying having children or choosing to not have them at all. There are many factors fueling this trend, including personnel and culture, and one of them is rising housing costs. Data analyzed by Realtor.com economists show that 2006 to 2024, the financial burden of purchasing a home has grown dramatically. In 2006, the median price of a single-family home was $222,000, which is now $343,000 in 2024 dollars when adjusted for inflation. But by comparison, the median sale in 2024 was $410,000, which is $66,000 more than what it was in 26. So over time, the 18-year period, the U.S. total fertility rate dropped from 2.1 to 1.6. Adam.
Well, to me, these are two totally separate stories that they try to like hodgepodge together to give some reasons as to why birth rates are plummeting. Yeah, dude, does the housing market have something to do with it a little bit? But not really. So intersexual dynamics is really the reason here. Housing aside, you listen, you could rent a place, you could buy a place. That's not going to stop you from having kids. The biggest problem is what we discussed last week. You have young men in America that want nothing more than to settle down, have a family, have a wife, have kids. This is something that men have notoriously been known to do all throughout history. So that's sort of like the staple in this. The variable in this is the mindset of what women are doing these days. The modern feminist movement has ruined a lot of women, and they'd rather focus on their careers than family. And all you have to simply do is this: is if you're a woman, like this is my best advice for young women. If you're 22, you're 24, you're 18, you're 28, go talk to a 50-year-old woman that never got married, never had kids, but wanted to. You'll see nothing but regret in their eyes, and they'll mask it with things like, I was focused on my career, or this one guy I dated, these are all just excuses. And there's nothing that I would like to see more that young men and young women actually come together and find some common ground here. So it was what, number one on the list for young men, Pat?
Having
to settle
children.
down, have a family, right?
Those who voted for Trump.
And it was for liberal women. It was what number on the list?
Number 12.
So you have young men. I wouldn't even say they're conservative. They're just normal, sensible, common sense guys that want a chick. And they're fighting the struggle of modern feminism. And I see it all the time. You meet a young woman, she's amazing. You check out, and then you click on her link in bio, and it goes to OnlyFans. And it happens way more than you think. And the most gorgeous women out there that used to be housewives or wonderful women or church-going women are now OnlyFans girls. And this is a continual, perpetuating problem. And then young men are faced with the decision of, wow, I met this girl. Am I really going to lower my standards for this beautiful woman who does OnlyFans?
Nope.
And they're going to say, I don't know about that. Is this really the type of girl I'm going to bring home for mom? And women, I understand. Make your money, have your career, but it is going to come at a price. And I hope that the price is worth it. Please talk to older women and see what they think. That's my advice for young women.
I 100% agree with Adam, and I'm going to add this to it. And thank you very much for that, Adam. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to add to it
take it, Tom.
that liberalism.
I'll take it to the bank.
Yeah, liberalism and progressive policy, to add on to what Adam's talking about, the only progress that progressive liberalism has done is made progress breaking the family, made progress trying to teach the tenets of family break in the schools, being able to push liberalism. That's progressive. That's where they're making progress, is in infiltrating the minds of young men and young boys and girls that grow up to have exactly the dynamic that Adam's talking about. A guy that is looking to get married and looking around for who, and then finding out what the mindset of a lot of women, not all of them out there, is all about. And it's devastating. I don't understand what writer went to a whiteboard to put these two things together. And I agree with Adam at the beginning. They just slammed these two things together, the hodgepodge, and made a story. But this is deeper. Maybe an expensive house is part of it. But at the end of it, you've got progressive policy has destroyed marriage and has infiltrated the minds of kids, which is why conservative people want this stuff not taught in schools so that kids can grow up. And when you take a look at replacement rate, take a look at what happens downstream. You destroy the family, your taxes long-term go up, and you destroy the fabric of that country.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you show that or no?
Rob, can we show that clip?
Is that part of a
Andrew
special?
Schultz?
If it is, you can't show it.
I don't know if you can do that.
Nah, it's he's on stage. It might be a special.
Okay, then don't show. But what's he saying right there, Rob?
Rob,
I don't know.
Are we allowed to play this clip?
I don't know.
No.
Okay. Well, let me just summarize this, because Andrew Schultz did an amazing job, I think, a year about his special. And he goes, ladies, how we all doing out there? And he says, I see these protests that are going on out there, and I'm trying to find common ground. And the ladies that are like, we deserve the right to work. He's like, I agree. Go for it. And they're basically saying, we deserve to have sex with anybody you want. And he's like, okay, have fun with it. We deserve to free the nipple. Go for it. And they're basically, he's just sort of encompassing feminist ideology. And he goes, listen, are you feminists or F-boys? Because, F-boys, because this is how men think. Work, make money, hot chicks, blah, blah. This is how women think at this point. And he sort of exposes their progressive mindset is that they're basically trying to be the people they hate, which is F-boys. And Andrew Schultz encompasses it greatly. But modern feminism is not helping women. The good news is we are starting to see women and content creators say, I'm just a lovely housewife, and I'm here to help my husband and have kids.
You know what it is?
And it's an amazing opportunity.
Go to church. Whatever you're doing right now, if you're one of these guys, go to church this Sunday. Find a local church. And I told this to a guy this weekend who was asking me, he says, what do I do? I'm going through a really tough time in my life. I said, go to church, but don't get discouraged if the first church sucks. I went through 26 until I found one, okay? So don't let it be like, oh, my God, I went there and they talked about raising money. Oh, my God, I went there and they were talking about a very technical story. Oh, my God, I went there. I don't really connect with the pastor. You're right. You're not going to connect with all the pastors. But then there's going to come that one moment. And when it does, you're going to feel it. You'll be in church all the way in the back, sitting by yourself, and you're going to have that moment of yours. And you can say, oh, my God, God spoke to me today. You'll feel it when it happens to you. But go to church. Basic step number one. Go to church.
Can I say one thing? I fully agree with you.
For the Jewish church?
It's called the synagogue.
You can come with us.
But, I've become more practicing since October 7th. You told me, go get closer to God. And I've tried to, and I do practicing. What I will say is I think more people should take that advice. The problem I have is also the hypocrisy and the double standards. You have no idea how many, and specifically women, but it's also guys, I see them drinking, partying, doing all sorts of things in Miami on Saturday night, and they go to church Sunday and they ask for forgiveness.
Well, that's not how it.
And I don't know how it works.
That's
but it doesn't seem like there's alignment. Where your words and your actions are not congruent.
If you want to listen,
your words are, I want to get closer to God. I want to go to church. I want to find a husband. But then you're partying at Space until 5 a.m. in Miami.
No, well, guess what? Everybody out there, go listen to James, the book of James. Just have it play. Do an audio and listen to it. And he names all that stuff. You can't be that practicing, talking about, and knowing that you're gonna do it. Like it's not cleansing yourself. Like I can do whatever I want throughout the week, and then Sunday I'm back. No, because he's watching, bro. You have to be intentional. You know what I mean? You have to cut off so many freaking things, and it's so hard, bro. He's like your mind. If you're, you know what I mean? If your right eye is looking somewhere, cut it out. If you're, you know what I mean? If your temptation with your right hand, cut it off. And if you're knowingly doing it, because once you go all in, you can't be the fence guy. And I know, because you mentioned that when you were talking about how, well, if I'm doing all this stuff and I just at the end, I say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to heaven. That's not, if you don't truly mean it, Adam, and you don't take the steps to try to become a good Christian, you know how hard, just the stuff that's going on in here. I'm at church and there's a beautiful girl and it's a fight. Your brain is like, dude, don't look. It's a constant battle. But no, that's not how it works.
I'm glad that you talked about that, because by the way, it's not just exclusive in the Christian community. I have Jewish friends, Orthodox Jewish friends, where they're doing the Sabbath, and then after Shabbat they're out partying in the club.
That's not how it
I'm like,
works.
guys, that's not how it works. Or I'll see a Muslim girl be like, that's haram, and she'll do this, and then she's on OnlyFans. So the double standard and the hypocrisy is like the words that come out of your mouth are different than the actions that you actually do. And alignment, I think, is
Adam,
crucial.
you make a really good point, but I would ask you a question. If you ran into somebody that was in your lane of life insurance and they were corrupt and they were really bad and you were really disgusted by that, would that keep you from your career doing as well as you've done in your lane of life insurance? No, it wouldn't. And so I think we have to be careful that we say we don't blame flawed people that keep us from making our spiritual decision, because sometimes it ends up that you may not realize it, but it may come across kind of as an excuse argument. Well, there's so much hypocrisy. Why should I go to church? Wait a minute. If you see bad plumbers in town, would you not be a plumber? No, you'd be the best plumber you could be.
And some people would call him a plumber. I mean, Adam growing up as a kid.
That's true. Laying pipe.
But no, you're right. I totally get what you're saying. I think that the biggest thing with, where Adam is going with what he's saying, I fully agree. Because you think that's like your card. I'm going to go here, then I'm going to go to the club. No, it's contradiction. What I learned in life, like the times I was the most at peace, and if you're solving for peace, I've never been more at peace in life when my beliefs that I would project to myself, my values and principles, match the way I live. Mm-hmm. I've never been happier than those to be in a line. Guy asked me a question and says, what's the key to happiness? I said, alignment. Alignment.
Wow, yeah.
If you truly live the life that you think is the right life to live based on the values and principles you believe in, what are you worried about? Like, what weight are you carrying? You're not. You're living true to yourself and the values and principles. So if you say you're a Christian, you're going by the values and principles. Try to live.
PBD, I actually want to ask you this question on alignment, because we've had multiple discussions on air, off air. This whole thing, cut it off. How do you? What would be your advice to people to live with alignment? Because essentially,
it's not easy, Adam.
That's what I'm saying. It's not easy.
No, it's not. Look, I just told you a minute ago who buys into the mob. What did I say?
Everybody, 100%.
I'm going to say 80%, as if I'm included, like I'm the smart one. I'm not going to get. No, it's very hard to be aligned, Adam. Oh. Very, very hard to be aligned. Very.
What's step one?
Just slide into my DMs and look at the type of DMs I'm getting. Like, the videos I'm getting.
Show me, Pat. Show me, Pat. It was great hanging with you last night, buddy. What was that?
No, I don't get DMs from guys telling me last night was great. But the point I'm trying to tell you is, look, if there comes a time in your life where you can be 45, and some may think you're a man, but you're just an old boy. You're not a man. You're a boy. That boy is still in you. You still haven't gotten rid of that boy. Me, 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 me. It's about me. Everything revolves around me. And that mindset that you have. I don't care how old you are. But then when you become a man, to me, man equals responsibilities. Man equals leading. Man equals keeping your word. Man equals people relying on you. Man equals contributing to society. Man equals carrying the burden of a handful of people. You have to. That's our job. Last night I'm sitting there, Dylan is sitting there listening to me. We're talking. I say, what it is to be a leader. Leader carries burden. Yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys played the
Green Bay
Packers, and I love what Micah said in the interview.
Tied.
And it was 40-40. Micah in the interview says, I went to Jordan Love, and I feel bad because he did his part. He put up 40 points of offense. We didn't do our part. This was our loss. And I don't feel good. I don't feel good. We have to come through. Our quarterback did his part. It was a great thing to say in the interview, but Micah's carrying burden. That's exactly how you want your best defensive player to interview. Mm-hmm. Okay, where he puts the onus on who? On himself. What a thing to say where it's always on the other person. It's always on the other side. There's something very attractive about a man wanting more responsibility. But you want to know what it is about wanting more responsibility? You lose 80% of your liberties. You know what I did this weekend? This weekend, I drove 500 miles back and forth to go to soccer tournaments. 500 miles this weekend. Back and forth, in the sun, in the heat, outside. People have umbrellas. I didn't know you needed umbrellas for suns. But, everybody's like carrying. I'm like, not even raining. Why do you have an umbrella? Because of the sun. I'm like, oh, okay, not a bad idea. But it's a burden. So what would I have rather have done this weekend? I'm behind on 2 books that I want to read. And while we're driving there, I can't even listen to my audiobook because he's reading the book because it's his homework. So I can't play music and I can't play anything. So I turn off the music and I'm just driving. And the reason why I like driving is I can listen to music, I can listen to audiobook, and I can talk to somebody that's with me, company, good conversation. I can't do any of them. So I'm like, boom. There's a mosquito.
Rock on the windshield.
And then you're there, right? But you know what? It's the greatest burden. Nothing like it. Watching the development of a human being that's relying on you for direction. And he's seeing everything that you're doing. There's nothing like it. So you asked the question. That's what I would say to you when it comes down to that. Anyways, all right, let's get to the next topic here. Next topic. Mayor Adams just dropped out.
Uh-oh.
And he said, I quit. I'm done. I'm out of it. Again, I'm Tom. I'm going to come to you here in a minute, but he ends his re-election bid for New York City mayor. Does he say anything, Rob?
I guess this is the announcement last night.
Okay, go for it.
And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. I hope that over time, New Yorkers will see this city thrive under our leadership, and that policies we put in place should be continued and expanded. I hope you will see that despite the headlines and innuendo, I always put you before me, always.
All right. So while that is going on, okay, President Trump tweets something out on Truth Social, okay? Rob, I don't know if you have that or not. He tweets something on Truth Social that says the following. It says, self-proclaimed New York City Mamdani, who is running for mayor, will prove to be one of the best things to ever happen to our great Republican Party, which I agree with. And I said this at Jubilee. I hope he wins, okay? Yep. In a way, purely for the case study. He's going to have problems with Washington like no mayor in the history of our once great city. Once great city. Remember that he needs money from me as president in order to fulfill all of his fake communist promises. He won't be getting any of it. So what's the point of voting for him? This ideology has failed always for thousands of years and will fail again, and that's guaranteed. President DJT. By the way, New York City, you know what you may want to look at for those of you guys that are supporting this guy? Look what's going on with the Portland, the highlights that we were watching earlier. Mm-hmm. Well, what's going on with the streets? He doesn't think those things are any issue. He's not somebody that's sitting there saying, let's go get more cops. You've seen what he's supported in the past before. Tom, I know you got some polls here you want to share with the rest of us, because I think the average person, Tom, is asking a following question, and I think you got the answer for it. The average person's asking, okay, how big of an impact did this make for Mayor Adams dropping out? Did the votes go to Cuomo? And what would happen if Sliwa walks out? Okay, would the votes go to Cuomo? Does Cuomo have a chance to beat Mamdani? What does Tom Ellsworth say about this?
Well, what we say about it is there's a lot of polling going on out there, and there's a lot of polling that's being paid for by Mamdani and by media organizations. You call up the media organizations. Hey, ABC New York calling. We need a poll, Quinnipiac. Yep, we'll get right back to you. And a lot of times the polls are flawed, or Quinnipiac wants to get business next week and this week. I'm not picking on them, but the way it kind of works is sometimes polls are produced that kind of follow narratives. And what's happening right now, people are saying, what is the net effect on the election? Is this going to help? And right now, Rasmussen, people that I trust and have contact with, they are looking at it and saying, look, you are looking at maybe you have breakage. Remember when RFK, this is what people remember, so maybe they can identify this. Everybody said, well, if RFK drops out and he's off those ballots, do those votes go to Trump? Remember that?
Yes.
That? And there was about 5 to 7 for RFK, and it was usually 4-2. 4 votes for Trump. 2 votes would go, no, I liked RFK, but I'm really
Democrat.
More left.
Yep.
So that's the breakage here. Well, about 70% of this goes to Cuomo, but there is still about 30% that are upset with Cuomo, that have a long memory. And so when you shake it out, you have a 2-horse race. And the Emerson College number here, not that they're the perfect pollster, but their analysis here, Rob, their analysis here is me and many other people that are really diving deep into numbers is correct, that it's about Mamdani 7 when you take out...
If Sliwa and Adams are out, Mamdani still wins by 7.
still wins by 7, and it's the problem that we showed last time where you went down all the groups. Remember you were going down last time on Friday?
Yep.
And you're asking, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are they thinking? Because there is a breakage for Mamdani. And I think it's, if everybody's gone, it's 7. If Sliwa stays there, it's 14.
Tom, who's Wick? Who's Wick there that has Cuomo wins by 1?
It's not John.
Rob, go up a little bit. Wick, Harris X.
John. We might need him, though.
Who are they?
I have no idea how the Wick people calculate this.
Who is Wick, though?
Do
you know them? Have you heard of them?
No, I'm not familiar with them, to be honest with you.
And then do you know who Harris X is?
I know who Harris is. I know who American Pulse Research is.
So who is Harris X?
So Harris X...
no relation to Kamala, right?
No. What you do is you look at who they vote, who they poll. You look, Honan Group, likely voters. Harris, registered voters. So when polling goes out, they call people on there, are you a registered voter? Yes, I am. I'm registered here. And so then they know, okay, we have a poll of this many registered voters on this side. Other times it's likely voters. Other times they're just dialing and they have 1,000 people. You don't know with that. Why is that important? Because let's say 44% are registered Democrats in a certain area. And 40% are registered Republicans. Everything is independent. You want to have registered voters representing that mix. Otherwise, you're just playing into the bias. It's like asking everybody at the Green Bay Packers game on the morning of the first game of the season, who's going to win the Super Bowl? 44% people believe Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. Of course they do, because you have a bias. And so that's what's going on with a lot of these.
Adam.
Well, Eric Adams drops out, so it's now officially a 2-person race. And, you know, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Cuomo, you're not going to win, homie. I wish you had a chance, but the voter base in New York City ain't about it. I mean, this is something that Eric Adams said last week. He said a substantial number of Gen Z voters will support the socialist NYC Mayor frontwear Zohar Mamdani, and a lot of them are foul-mouthed USA-hating radicals. The radicalization of the left part of America is real, gentlemen, and they are nasty, and they are reminiscent of Russia 100-plus years ago when the Bolshevik army took down the Tsar. Here's some of his quotes, right? They're nasty. They're U.S.-hating radicals. I've never witnessed a more mean and angry, nasty electoral season. I leave my church or I'll leave lunch. People are shouting, F you, Adams, F you. When you do it in front of children, it says to me that you have no regard for civility, and that's associated with living in a city of this magnitude. Our children are being radicalized. Our children are starting to hate this city. Not all, but many young people have been radicalized. The radicalization is real. This is just one little anecdote from Mayor Eric Adams. Don't you think the current mayor of New York City knows what he's talking about in this regard? But
do you agree with them?
Oh, I fully agree with them.
Yeah.
You sat down in front of 20 what I would call leftist radicals in the Jubilee debate.
Yep.
And everyone gave you immense credit. I can't believe Pat had so much patience. He was so kind. He was so nice. How many of those 20 minds do you think you actually changed?
Short term or long term?
Short term and long term.
Short term, none.
Okay.
Long term, 3.
You think so?
I think so.
Walk me through why those 3 people will come to the realization
life's going
that
to happen to you. Life's going to happen to you. And life's going to happen to you. And by the way, generally, the reason why I'm where I'm at in my life is because I believe people can change. Even with you, you were very annoying. You know, when I
appreciate that.
But you were though. You were obnoxious at one point. It was tough to be around. It's like, oh my God, if I have to hear another thing by this guy about Russia and stuff like this, it was like overly. But you know what? Deep down inside, I said, I think something's going to happen with this guy.
Bingo.
I think he's going to figure something out. By the way, I was to others. You kidding me? Like when I was younger, I'm like, what's this guy going to do with his life? Where's this guy going? When's the guy going to make a decision to do something with his life? And then I had to go through it, right? So I'm generally optimistic that some people will change because there's one thing you can never stop, Adam. You know what that is? Life's going to happen, man.
Yep.
And when life happens, you're by yourself, alone, on your. What are you going to do when I'm talking life really happens?
Yep.
I'm not talking about life happens. When life really happens, what was the reason why you chose to come and live in Addison? Because life really happened.
Yep.
2 events simultaneously. bam, wake up. And you're like, whoa, what was this all about, right?
Yeah.
I think when life really happens, some people wake up and some people double down on the victimhood stuff. I do think a few of those guys will. But going back to the New York thing you're talking about with Adam saying that, if you lived in a city where everywhere you go, someone's like, fuck you, mother, you piece of shit. Yeah, I'd say, you have to be thinking about, like, you either have to know that's the DNA of that city. Like, you know how they say Philadelphia fans, if you play for Philly, like Rob, you know this, like Philadelphia fans are
tough crowd,
right? New York, same. Boston, same.
Santa Claus.
You can go around and say a lot of different things, but those three, LA fans are, believe it or not, LA fans are not LA. It's a very different kind of a fan base.
Yeah, they're fake.
It's not, you're not wrong, okay? Like Tom is a true Dodger fan.
Real
true. It's annoying to be around, but he's a true Dodger fan.
So annoying.
You know, like,
please don't.
By the way, hey,
like that, guys.
The Yankees needed Toronto to lose one game to have the bye. Tom's smile on his face. You should see the look on his face.
So happy.
That
He can't even hold it in. Look at him.
Now, look at his face.
Look at
Can you
him.
zoom
Can't
in
even
on
hold
his
it
face,
in.
please?
Turning red.
So we have a thing. I don't want any text about baseball from Tom
ever
until the season is over with. And I'm talking playoffs is over with. I don't want to hear it because I know deep down inside he's like, well, that guy's this, and you don't have Cole, and you don't have this, and you know. So I'm like, listen, let the season end, and then let's talk baseball. We're planning on watching some baseball this weekend, but you know where we're watching it?
Tom.
We go to a Dodgers Yankees game, and the Yankees greatest fifth inning in the history of the Yankees. Which, you know, it's case studies are going to be written about that fifth inning, right? Movies are going to. There was movies made about series. There's been documentaries made about series. Yankees, Boston. But they're going to make a movie, and you can make a 12-part documentary series about the fifth inning.
That's it. And call it the fifth inning.
Call it the fifth inning.
Fifth.
And it would do well. But anyways, yeah. So I can't imagine that happening in New York being that.
You're the
crazy.
hottest, most balanced team going into the playoffs. And hats off to Aaron Judge.
That's a real picture. Tom was joking.
He did something.
You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
By the way, in the back, you know who's celebrating? The Dodgers just won. We're in a booth.
Oh, that's a Dodger
him and
game.
Sam.
Wow.
Him and Sam are celebrating privately with another guy named Greg. The three are just like teamed up. 25 Yankees guys and 3 Dodgers. We had to have escort the 3 Dodgers guys out and say, listen, you guys got to get out of here.
Little fun fact, Tom actually pooped in his pants there.
He did.
He actually let it go.
So
That's not true.
by the way,
it's true.
By the way,
Stop it.
Tom went,
Aaron Judge Aaron Judge is your MVP, and he just did something that no one's done since Mickey Mantle. 50 dingers and a batting title. And a batting title.
But you know what that means?
I know.
You know what that means? Where it's like they over compliment to
know that
put
you're
superstitious be against you. That's Tom's style.
We know what you just did.
Tom's got a little Armenian in him. But let me continue.
Can we land this plane?
No, I don't want to land it. I want to get away from it.
I want to say we were talking about Eric Adams.
I want to talk about Mambondi really fast.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So,
somehow we talked
about
because
I want to get into the fact
Judge.
that, and I know
Tom
that we're
brought up
saying,
baseball.
we hope New York is strapping in because it looks like it's going to happen. And you know what? Remember we talked about the pool of people that look at who they have to choose from. Okay, all due respect, Sliwa, I really don't know who he is, the guy with the beret, but Eric Adams, look at all the stuff, the Sanctuary City and everything that he did. And then Cuomo. I mean, look at what he did with the old people in the nursing homes with COVID. And it's almost like it's your guys' fault that this Mamdani guy is going to have this riots. And guess what? 2 days ago, a story came out. He pledges to spend, are you ready, New Yorkers? $100 million for free lawyers for illegals. For illegals to have lawyers for their immigration, for their deportation. Okay? You're welcome. It's coming, and it's coming quick. And did you see the Dearborn? What? You saw this? $100 million of your taxpayer New York money, bunch of Trump haters.
Good.
That is coming.
Good.
You're going to pay for illegals.
More for the rest of us.
Because you know what that's saying? I want illegals to stay here. I love illegals, not the actual citizens that crime is up and all this shit that's happening. Sorry for my language, but this is what you're going to get. And you know what happens when that happens? The defund the police attitude and all that stuff. He's going to get like what's happening in Dearborn. Did you see the police chief in Dearborn? Did you guys see this guy?
Show me.
If you don't mind.
Police chief.
The police, let me get his actual name. I'm going to get
his guy.
His name is Police Chief Issa Shaheen. He's standing in front of a Lebanese flag. He praises his Arab American police force, celebrating hijabs in the justice system. And just listen what he says with the alhamdulillah. This is in America. Just letting you guys know. Go ahead.
When I joined the department, Dearborn's Arab American population was nearly 50%. Yet less than 3% of our police. It's now a department that reflects and embraces the community it serves, with 45% of our officers being Arab American. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Oh,
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. It's coming, guys.
The police.
Guys, and guess what, Mamdani? Strap in.
And guess what?
Strap in.
We should do a podcast in Dearborn.
Let's do it.
Can you run a poll, Rob?
Yeah.
Can you run a poll? No. You know what I want the poll to be? If we were to run a podcast in Dearborn, like Detroit, Dearborn, Michigan, would you fly out to come to the podcast if we were to find a hotel? Because I know it would be ruckus. 44% are
and you know what's happening?
Can you just run that poll? Rob, folks, I just want to know if we get 2,000 crazy America-loving people, patriots in the same place, I want military guys to show up, vets, Air Force, Harley Davidson, bring them all, baby, right?
And then do a podcast
and we
in
do
Dearborn.
a podcast in Dearborn, and we talk about how awesome America is, right?
Oh my goodness!
I'm curious to know what that poll. I'm sure my wife is excited about this announcement.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, we'd have to get crazy security, but I just want you guys to know, because the citizens are complaining. They're having mosques are doing their call to prayer at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and this is what's happening in Dearborn, New York. Are you ready for this? Go ahead. This is in America. 5 o'clock. What time is this? Some lady complained that it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to the city, and it's.
Yeah, they have a horn they blow, and then there's
happened.
like a cantor that sings.
Like, listen. Like, dude, I'd be like, what?
That's actually my alarm clock I wake up to every day, guys. So I don't see the problem.
By the way,
you don't wake
I'm going
up.
to say
This is
something
how I
very
wake up
weird.
every day. Rob, you can
Very
stop.
weird. I grew up in Iran. I would hear this all the time.
Yeah.
And there are some guys that sing this song with the most incredible voice. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
5 a.m.?
But 5 a.m.
In America?
In America.
No.
In
Yeah,
America.
sorry,
And
bro.
I'm a reasonable guy. It's just such a beautiful song if it's sang by the right people, but not 5 a.m., not in America.
No, sorry.
Not appropriate.
Sorry, guys.
What's this, Rob?
This is a video of I believe it's a former Islamist.
I got it. Yeah, go for
I've
it.
seen this before you.
When I was an extremist, Islamist, fundamentalist, I would only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because they come with principle. That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left, I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I dare you to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. Never do it. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that. And Omar, she's fighting for abortion rights and all the other, my body, my choice. Yes, go do that. But would she have an abortion? Never.
Weird.
Never.
Weird.
Would she kill a Muslim in her stomach? Never.
Wow. What is the fundamentalist and jihadi agenda for America?
The future of America has to be Muslim.
Wow.
Would you say, Adam, when they say it, believe them?
Tom, when they tell you who they are, believe them.
I'll tell you, there is a simple reality. In terms of a caliphate and a whole war of extermination, the liberal dies last. And the first will be the Jews. The second will be the Christians. In some cases, the Christians, they go after them first because they're protecting the Jews. That's the way it's been. The fundamentalist Christians that protect Jewish people. I'm not talking about Israel as a nation. I'm talking about Jewish people. And then you get around to, and now for you. Well, wait a minute. I was with you, man. You gave you your freedom. I said you had the right to free speech. You had the right to say what you wanted. And you said things about Christians and Jews. I maybe thought you were a little extreme or a little crazy, but it said that. No, you don't understand. It says, you. It says, are you coming with me? No. I believe this, and no. Well, now you are the infidel. And the liberal needs to understand The liberal dies last.
Nobody cares about that. You know why, Tom? It's kind of like why some people eat as bad as they do until they have a heart attack. You ever wonder, like, I read a book by John Maxwell, one of his books. It could have been 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and he talks about what happened after he had a heart attack, how bad he was eating and how quickly he changed his diet because he was thinking about his kids, grandkids, all that stuff, right? Most people don't think it's going to happen to them. Most people don't think cancer is going to happen to them. Most people don't think any of that stuff's going to happen to them. Like, no, it's other people. It's never me. It's never me. It's never me. And then it's you, and it's like, oh, shit, I never knew it was going to be me. Well, that's kind of how life works. So I don't think that ever does anything to them, even though you're right. They are going to be last, and they're still going to get them as well. They still won't. That's not going to move them. They won't sit there and be like, because of that, I'm going to change. Nope.
Can I add one thing?
They have a massive blind spot, Tom. Go ahead.
Can you show that police chief again? This is not the angle you think I'm going to take here. This gentleman right here who's saying that, you know, when he started with the police force to only 3% of the police force in a 50% Muslim community were police, but now it's up to 45%. I'm actually happy he talked about this because we need more reasonable Muslims who are policing their own people, just like we need Christians policing their own people, Jews policing their own people, Republicans, Democrats. We need more people saying, no, guys, if you love America, appreciate America, be a part of the American melting pot, we're here for it. We need those people, those police officers, to vet out the radicals. How else are we going to find the radicals in the mosques or the radicals in the churches or the radicals in the temples? Not that there's many of those, but how else are we going to find those people? And we need to bring them back into the fold. Creating enemies within America is very problematic. So I would encourage I have Muslim friends. You saw the video I did in Detroit, right? When at the airport, when they're all masked up. Why was I in Detroit? My grandma's from Detroit. My dad's from Detroit. I have friends in Detroit. I have Jewish friends in Detroit. I have Muslim friends in Detroit. Huge Chaldean community, which is basically like the Syrian community. Huge black community. If you love America and you're here for America, we have open arms for you. But if you're here actively plotting against America, that's the problem that people have. So when you see these clerics being like, we need to bring down America and burn down America, that's the people we need to investigate. This is uncalled for.
Yep.
Burning of the flags. Exactly.
Can a Christian or a Jew run for office in a Muslim country?
No.
No.
Interesting.
Weird.
That question alone.
Definitely not a Jew.
That question alone.
Yeah. There is a double standard. You're absolutely right.
Tom.
Can a gay person hold a pride parade in Gaza? Or is it just fashionable to say, you know,
gays for Gaza, queers for Palestine?
The answer is
hold
chickens
it,
for
but
KFC.
Oh, yeah.
They'll meet their maker within.
Yeah, that's exactly. You can't get a permit, but if you want to self-organize, you're going to self-exterminate.
You bring up the point, Pat. That's exactly what it is that they can do whatever they want. Anyone can do whatever they want here in America. But in other countries, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And when they think, you know, it's
there's
really
the queers
funny.
for Palestine, chickens for KFC.
Adam,
there's
isn't it
cognitive
crazy
dissonance going on
how
here.
some of our young people think that the rest of the world is really just like us?
Well,
and I can just go over there and I can do this. But if they went over there, they would have drum solos played on their head.
That's true. The one problem that you're wrong with, Tom, is that you said, isn't it interesting that they think? They don't think. They're just, it's raw emotion.
Assume. Yeah, the emotional.
And you know what happens when you assume?
A couple other stories I want to go through. Let me go to this one here. Trump to declassify Amelia Earhart's records. Okay. I know, Vinny, you got a lot of you want to talk about this one here. So, President Donald Trump announced Friday on Truth Social his ordinance administration to classify and release all government records regarding trailblazing aviator Amelia Earhart, who mysteriously disappeared during a flight over Pacific Ocean 1937. 1932, Mary Earhart became the first woman and the second person in history after Charles Lindbergh to fly solo and nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean. Just 5 years later, at the age of 39, she vanished without a trace during an attempt to circumnavigate the globe, raising a range of possible explanations as to conspiracy theories. I'm ordering my administration to declassify and release all the government records related to Amelia Earhart, her final trip, and to everything else about her. President Trump wrote on a post, you know, what is this the one, Rob?
Yes.
In particular, her fatal flight. She was an aviation pioneer, the first one flight. She disappeared in South Ocean while trying to become the first one flight around Amelia was almost 3/4 around the world, and she suddenly, without notice, vanished. never to be seen again. Her disappearance almost 90 years ago has captivated millions. I'm ordering my administration to declassify it. So, Vinny, why are you so interested in this?
Oh, man, I was up all night. You know why? I was wondering who gives, I'm sorry, with all due respect, who gives a damn about, like, are you serious?
Family members do.
Yeah, yeah.
Grandkids
Are
do.
they alive? Are any of them alive?
Great grandkids.
Earnharts?
I don't even, the Earnharts?
Oh, my God. The
Like,
Earharts?
by the way, unless the files show that she was abducted by aliens or the government has her locked up in a bunker somewhere, at this point, who cares? Okay, this isn't 1937 trivia night. It's 2025, all right? How about this? The Epstein files, all right? The way that the entire case is still ongoing, being handled. I know we have some stuff about Elon and Elon's comments and him being implicated. And then how about this? Charlie Kirk's assassination. That's where real accountability is right now. This is where I don't like, who cares? There's so much happening right now. I think this is one of those shiny objects in the air. Look over here and don't look over there. And we've seen this before. Big announcement, a lot of headlines, and then all the stuff that really impacts power and corruption, that's the stuff that gets buried. Okay? Keep focus on what's happening right now. What affects people right now, not a mystery from 90 years ago. What?
This is just funny that this is what we're talking about.
What, isn't it true?
Because you're like, guys, who cares about the Amelia Earhart story? It's irrelevant. Hey, Vinny, you want to talk about today? So Amelia Earhart.
No,
why are we focusing on this?
Well, that was the story.
Why are we giving this attention? Why do we need more oxygen on this story?
Adam.
Nobody cares about Amelia Earhart.
Here we go.
Hey, Vinny, let's talk about this.
We're losing
Amelia
altitude.
Earhart.
Adam, the president of the United States, says he's
goes
been
an
asked
engine.
by many people. I want to know who the hell went up to President Trump. It was probably some, like,
Vinny,
100-year-old
you
woman.
fell for it.
No, I did not fall
You fell for it.
No, I didn't.
We should have never talked about
No,
the story.
no.
Now,
because-
me and Vincent aren't going to be friends
I'm
today
bringing
because we're
attention.
fighting about the greatest female aviator of all time, Amelia Earhart, and your lack of care
I'm bringing
for
attention.
Amelia.
Guess what I'm
the
doing?
The Earhart family is disgusting.
Adam,
in your
I
attitude
think
right
everybody
now.
wants to know what happened to her, but it's not like a great government conspiracy.
It's 90 years.
She wasn't
Tom, when
delivering
she went
the
missing,
fuse
where were
to
you
the
on that
atomic
day?
weapon.
Guess
Tom,
what?
when she went missing, where were you?
Rob, I sent you another clip of the
Excuse me?
construction of Charlie Kirk's assassination
I came
site.
out of the bathroom, I grabbed some lunch, I sat down, and they were like,
What is this?
You don't have to play the music, but this is what I'm more important about.
This is
They're
Amelia
doing
Earhart?
construction where Charlie was assassinated. They're literally, play this, Rob. They're digging up everything. Everything is doing construction. What are the odds that were one of the biggest assassinations in the history of the country of a political figure, and they're doing construction everywhere on the top?
You're basically
underneath.
saying don't focus on Amelia Earhart, focus on this.
This is what we, I mean,
so we're using the American
because I'm going to say
Amelia
something.
Earhart story as a cudgel
Adam,
to bring up
Adam,
Charlie Kirk.
This is
we could have just discussed
everything's
Charlie
on,
Kirk.
No, because everything is on purpose. The fact that Charlie was assassinated less than 2 weeks ago, and there is so many unanswered questions, and then the attitudes of other people. We weren't even 3 days after he passed away, and people were like, this is what's happening with Turning Point, and this is like, who gives a damn about all that? Who shot Charlie Kirk? The official narrative, nobody's believing it. Okay, they've been blowing smoke up our butts for how many days now? It's unbelievable, the unanswered questions. It's unbelievable, the Epstein stuff. And the president wants us to talk about Amelia Earhart? No, bro. I'm so...
Vinny, you're talking...
Adam, you're missing the whole point.
No,
Why
I
would
got
the
it.
president bring it up? Yeah, for other people that are like, wow, here's my question, Adam. Who in their right mind right now is like this? Woo! Finally, Amelia.
But you know what he's saying?
Emilio!
What he's, by the way, we keep saying Earnhardt. That's the driver
Earhart,
family.
gotcha.
This is
I'm
Earhart,
sorry.
guys. We have to get it right.
Earhart.
She did not
Apologies.
drive. She flew
Earhart.
planes.
It's true, Earhart.
She's not a driver. She was a pilot.
saying-
Adam, go ahead. What
were you saying?
Were you going to say anything?
No, you were about to say something.
No, I was going to say, I think what he's trying to say is this is a way to distract you from other issues that are going on. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm pointing out that he's trying to
I think he
distract
makes an
us.
important
I don't
point because what are you going to do? Solve this? In 1971, my great-grandfather's reading glasses disappeared when he was 3/4 away of the garage.
For sure.
Can someone help?
Mr. Wickwiki, the glasses, right? Because these all have to die with each other. Wickwiki, which he was trying to sell for a couple $100s. But no, I get what you're saying. To me,
let's talk about Bigfoot.
No. When it comes down to the Kirk shooting,
Like, that's what I care about. Like, what do we
I have some very weird speculation.
I have to talk to you. We're talking after. Can we talk after?
What do you mean?
Yeah. No, you're going to hear it. Mr.
Yeah.
Wickwiki. Yeah.
What do you want to bring it to?
No, we're not talking about it.
I think Pat and I are very quietly on the same page.
Look at that face. I can't wait to hear about this.
I mean, is this Amelia Earhart story here planted?
No. We're gonna skip. We're gonna skip and see what happens next.
Oh no, man! Stay
We're
tuned
gonna
for the next
skip and
episode,
see what
guys.
happens next. We're going to skip El Skipo, but it's very annoying to say the least that nothing's adding up with Kirk's situation. Nothing. It's very annoying. Next story: Netanyahu faces walkout at UN after Abbas receives applause. Okay, Rob, I think you have the clip. If you want to play this clip, it's on page 15. Okay, that's German. Go ahead.
Hey, very good.
The crowd there that was motivated.
Order in the hall.
And he will take the speech. We will listen to it here, and we'll have
Please,
analysis
order in the
for you
hall.
on the other side.
They're walking out with Bibi hitting the stage.
Please, order in the hall.
Which countries are these? These are all countries, people that represent countries?
Please, order in the hall.
That's a lot of
Everybody
people.
that's against Bibi, they're walking out. So these could be
Turkestan
Muslim
right there.
countries. Okay, you can pause it right there. So Netanyahu declared in his address to the United Nations General Assembly Friday that the long-suffering Iran people will regain their freedom and make Iran great again, predicting that the Middle East will look dramatically different in the years ahead. Netanyahu tied his remarks to Israel's recent battlefield victories over Iran's terror axis, arguing that those wins have opened unprecedented possibilities for peace across the region, including with former enemies once considered beyond reach. Many of those who wage war on Israel today will be gone tomorrow. Brave peacemakers will take their place. He told world leaders, Israeli leaders, directly addressed Iran, stressing that its citizens would ultimately free themselves from Ayatollah's grip. Nowhere will this be more true than in Iran. The long-suffering Iranian people will regain their freedom. They will make Iran great again. Netanyahu declared a phrase, echoed a slogan familiar to many in the hall. Netanyahu framed Israel's strength to the guarantor of such a future, describing how October 7th and its aftermath underscored the Jewish state's resolve to fight back against enemies that once thought Jewish blood would be shed with impunity, could be shed with impunity. Adam.
Well, look, I'm going to share some stats with you here. And look, you can critique what's going on in Israel. You can critique the war in Gaza. But I'll ask you a serious question, everybody out there. What are the countries with the worst human rights abuses in the world? What countries do you think are on that list? Have you seen this number, Vinny? Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Don't look at this. What countries would you say are the top 3 countries where it's like human rights, the UN should condemn this country? What first 3 countries that come to mind?
Wait, hold on. You're saying like
first 3
what
countries
you
that come to right human rights abuses. Just
I would say somewhere in the Middle East that's
okay.
throwing
North
people
Korea,
off of buildings.
North Korea, Iran, Iraq.
Okay.
Those come to mind.
So,
but you're going to go.
So look at these numbers right here of what's going on the UN condemnation. So North Korea, this is when the UN General Assembly condemns a country. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. North Korea 10, Afghanistan 1, Venezuela 0, Myanmar 9. You go all the way down the list. Hamas 0, Russia 29. That's the second highest on the list. China 0 condemnations. Cuba 0. Syria, where they killed 1 million Syrians 10. Iran 10. Israel 173. So what does this show you? This stat, this hypocrisy to the highest level. If you add up all the condemnations that happened at the UN where Benjamin Netanyahu was speaking, the entire world, according to the UN, is not bad as Israel. So when you want to see that Jews are like, what are you talking about? Israelis are like, what are you talking about? This isn't fair. We're being condemned. Every single country in the world, including North Korea, including China, including the countries with the worst human rights abuses, they don't equal the small country of Israel. So to say that there's a double standard, it would be...
Help me understand what this means.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's the UN
condemnation, Rob? What does this poll mean? What does this poll mean, Rob?
I'm not sure Adam sent me this. So this is
So
Adam.
what does this poll mean, Tom?
UNGA, I believe, is UN General Assembly. And I'm doing the same thing you were, Pat. I want to look up what is a condemnation.
So while you're looking that up,
by the UN
General
General Assembly.
If you ask me, is it disrespectful to walk out when a world leader is speaking? Yes.
U.S. condemnations refer to a formal declaration by the United Nations that disapprove of specific actions or policies of a member state or entity. These declarations, primarily through General Assembly resolutions and Security Council decisions, signal a collective stance against violations of international law or peace. Though General Assembly resolutions are often non-binding recommendations, the UN has issued condemnations for a range of actions, including those related to international conflict, human rights abuses, terrorism, and illegal acquisition of territory. Go back to that list again, Rob, of who he has. U.S. was at 11, and Pakistan was at 0.
Mm-hmm. Saudi's at 0.
Hamas at 0?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Wait, Hamas is at 0.
Yeah.
Afghanistan is at 1. Turkey's at 0. China's at 0. Oh.
Yeah. They're all lovely people there. There's nothing wrong
Cuba's
going on
at
in
0.
China.
Iraq's at 0.
Nothing wrong going on in Venezuela. It's
U.S.
all
is more than
Israel.
Iran?
Yes.
Okay, then this lost credibility, though.
This is the UN, though. This is why Trump gets up on stage and says, you're supposed to be solving problems, but you're provoking problems and exacerbating problems. This is why Trump's speech at the UN was so important, which I called it the most important speech in our lifetime, respectfully.
Tom.
It's because he sees what's going on in the world, and it doesn't make sense. So who are the people walking out when Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking? And you can be as critical as you want as Benjamin Netanyahu, because half of Israel, it doesn't support the right-wing government in Israel. But you have African strongmen, you have literally Middle Eastern, Arab, Muslim terrorists, former Al-Qaeda terrorists who are now running Syria, walking out. You have Latin American communists. So the people who are actually committing the human rights abuses are walking out as Benjamin Netanyahu is on stage. And again, I can say this again, you can be completely critical of Netanyahu and what they're doing in Gaza, but the hypocrisy that the entire world, if you add up the entire world, condemnation does not equal what's going on in Israel. That's the problem, is that it's absolutely absurd on its face.
Yeah.
Tell me, listen, maybe I'm completely wrong.
No, I mean, if that's an
And these
accurate
numbers-
list, if that's a real list that they actually have from 2015 to 2025, it's ridiculous because, yes, Israel, people are, a lot of us, me included, criticizing what they're doing, but that's 173 to 0-0. China, Qatar, Saudi, Cuba. No. And now R11, I'm curious to what R11 is.
No, they have us at 11 and U.S. at
Iran at 10.
What?
Yeah, come on.
Stop it. Stop it. Tom, how do you process this?
Well, there's two parts of the UN. There's the UN Security Council and the UN General Assembly. The way I process it is, on its face, this is ridiculous. And it just shows you how the UN, self-managed gets nowhere fast. And I look at this and I'm like, I'm going to go look this up. I'm going to look up all 173. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go get smart about this. Because I know when it comes to the UN Security Council, that's different. That is a small group of the most powerful countries. And frequently, Russia won't vote this way. The U.S. won't vote that way. And it's kind of a stalemate, Pat. You know what I mean? It's like, let's universally. But when the UN Security Council manages to vote in unison, usually you're going to go see some action and stuff. But I think this is ridiculous. Israel 173. I want to see what those 173 things are.
Yeah. Let's get smarter, as Tom always says. So, to me, it's just weird when you put a number like this and it's causing others to react to it. Adam, you were going to say.
No, I just want to say again. I'm just coming from a pure data standpoint. The way that you can tell how bad a regime is or bad a country is. Okay, sure, you're going to wage war. Okay, Putin is attacking Ukraine. Okay, Israel and Hamas. Okay, what was it? India, Pakistan. You're fighting with your neighbors. What was the other? It was Myanmar versus Cambodia. I'm sorry, it was
Myanmar.
Thailand.
I think it's called
versus Cambodia. Point is, you're attacking other countries. The real test of a regime is how you treat your own people. Now, what you want to say about, you can say what you want about Benjamin Netanyahu is not they're killing Israelis. But in Iran, in North Korea and Venezuela, you're suppressing your own people. I mean, we've seen what people say in Iran. Tell me what the Ayatollah and the IRGC does to their own people in Iran, Pat. I mean, you could spend 10 hours on this, but how do they treat their own people?
I'd like to hit 2 more stories.
They hang them? What do they do?
It's horrible. They let the article was written last year about the number of hangings Iran did in 1 year, and you see the numbers. Lithium Americas shares surged 90% as Trump requests stake. This is a story by Forbes. Tom, I'm going to come to you with this one real quick. I'm not coming to anybody else on this one, but Tom, I'm only you. Shares of Lithium Americas have rallied 97% on Wednesday after the Trump administration said it would seek a stake in Canadian mining firm as it negotiates a multi-billion-dollar loan with the Energy Department, a deal involving the largest lithium source in the U.S. Lithium Americas stock soared 97% to around $6, nearly doubling the firm's market cap from $674 million to $1.32 billion. Trump administration has requested an equity stake in Lithium Americas as it renegotiates a $2.2 billion loan with the Energy Department for its Thacker Pass mine in Nevada, a White House official told Forbes. Rob, go ahead and play this clip.
Shares of Lithium Americas more than doubled Wednesday morning after Reuters reported that the Trump administration is seeking up to a 10% stake in the miner. It's the latest sign of Washington's intervention into industries it considers critical to national security. Late Tuesday, Reuters reported the proposed stake was part of negotiations over a nearly $2.3 billion loan from the U.S. Department of Energy for the company's Thacker Pass lithium project. Located in Nevada, Thacker Pass is the largest planned lithium mine in the Western Hemisphere. Canada-based Lithium Americas said on Wednesday it was in discussions with the U.S. Energy Department and General Motors over the loan. GM has a 38% stake in Thacker Pass. The move underscores President Trump's increasing use of direct government ownership to steer strategic sectors and curb reliance on China, which dominates refining of many critical minerals. Thacker Pass is seen as a linchpin in building a domestic supply chain, part of Washington's long-standing drive to boost U.S. production of lithium, a metal used to make batteries for electric vehicles and other electronics.
Let's pause it right there, Tom. Tom, go for it.
This is our president trying to keep a promise and trying to keep working on the critical minerals we need. Where did he start first? Ukraine. He said, Zelensky, let's make a deal for minerals in exchange for some relief aid, but we got to get this war stopped, right? We got to bring this to a stop. Remember that? Then he goes to Greenland, and then Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk, by the way, all went on this big, a group of people that went to Greenland to talk about Greenland, about minerals, because he is trying to not just do it for today. He is actually trying to play a little of the long game. And this, what they're doing with Biden gave a small government loan to this company. I shouldn't say small, it was real, but they need to refinance it. And so Trump is saying, look, if you're going to get a $2.26 million loan from the government, we got to take maybe a piece in the company, which I don't necessarily agree with, but he's trying to make it, Pat, like a collateral on the loan. Like, you can't just ask the taxpayers to give you $2.6 billion of the collateral. However, I will say this. We need lithium for up to 800,000 EVs a year, and I don't want us to be screwed out of lithium. So I'll tell you what. I'm still working with Greenland on a deal, but now I'm going to help you guys with this loan because we have to support ourselves and not be hogtied by China on precious metals. So this is Trump in the middle of everything else that's going on, Pat, still out there trying to do the very thing he was doing on day one with EVs. And this is before, Elon Musk and Doge went away. Oh, he was only doing that to help Elon. No, he wasn't. General Motors actually also has a stake in this. And this is Trump trying to help.
Does it concern you that the government keeps buying out companies and invests into companies?
I do not like that.
Why don't you like it?
Because this is, in this case, this is collateral. And what is the collateral? Dirt and a mine. Okay, we can take it back and then we can sell it to somebody else. But I don't like direct investment like what he's doing with Intel. I'd rather Apple almost died. Microsoft helped. I think you let the market determine just like that. It's different for Trump to say, you know what, I think we should have a chip program in the U.S. People are trying to build factories. Let's help them. Let's get them some, maybe we help them get them land and stuff. But you guys need to work together. NVIDIA, how nice of you. You want to do this with Intel. I think that's great. I wish he would do that. I don't like and give me a piece of the deal in Intel to hold that, because I think that's bad, because I don't think he's going to do anything nefarious with it. But if the government owns these pieces, future administrations can. And I just do not think in a capitalist system, freedom to try, freedom to succeed, freedom to fail. And I don't think that should come with unless you get a safety net with the U.S. government because they own a piece. And then what if somebody in the future is out competing Intel? What if TICO grows up and builds a company that's out competing with Intel, and all of a sudden there's legislation between two companies? Who's the government going to favor? TICO or the company they got 10% of? That's dangerous.
Yeah.
We need an impartial government on that day to say, hey, it's a capitalist system, and if you guys want to go to court, sue each other, that's what our courts are for, but I don't like it. That part I do not like. I do like Trump is trying to find ways to establish mineral independence and get these precious minerals that we need, these rare earth minerals, so that we don't get screwed by China. That part's a good thing.
I agree. Fantastic. Gang, we are at the end of the podcast. I got back-to-back. It's my Monday. Mondays for me are the craziest days that I got to get to all these meetings. But we will do this again on Wednesday, home team. If you have any follow-up questions, anything that we discussed today, feel free to connect any one of the guys on the crew here. And also, aside from that, if you haven't yet had a chance to order Faith Over Fear and you still would like to, I would go to vtmerch.com. You will see it right on the cover of it to order your Faith Over Fear merch. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.